When I was in my darkest moment, Lana Del Rey appeared. I thanked her in the
You
liner
actually
notes.
manifested that.
I thanked her in the liner notes
You
of
do,
Hot
on
City
Hot
because I was
City.
like, she was like, you're an artist. And I needed that. I needed someone to tell me that. Bought myself a dagger, went to the CEO's house in the middle of the night, and I took the CD and I stabbed it into the tree that was right in front of his front door. And then I went to his car and I wrote in lipstick, "Platinum, baby." And needless to say, I got dropped.
Hello, besties, and welcome back to Delulu. And today's guestie is actually a literal manifestation come true of mine. Before I even started this podcast, y'all, I've been wanting to interview her for so long because I feel like no one could do her justice. Like, I know I can do her justice, and I've been manifesting this. So let's start off with that. Manifestation's real, but I'm gonna talk my shit and flex for her for a second. Today's guest is the iconic, legendary Bonnie McKee. Bonnie McKee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna go down her little resume real quick.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have to read it off this list, y'all, because it is an extensive list of roles that she takes, and she deserves to be recognized for every single one of them. So, Bonnie McKee is a director, an actress, a producer, an engineer, a songwriter, a creative director, a dancer in her own right, a DIY queen, an eBay connoisseur, heartbreaker, empath, and a supernova. The list goes on and on and on, and we do not have enough time to go down the list, but we will be getting into everything Bonnie McKee. She has written 10 number one singles. That is double digits, y'all. 10 number one singles from California Girls, Teenage Dream, Last Friday Night, Dynamite with Tyler Cruz, Hold It Against Me with Britney Spears, and of course, so much more that we can't even get into. And my personal favorite, she has written the national anthem for her own solo artist project, American Girl. Bonnie, welcome to Delulu.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm going to start this by telling you, and I'm going to say it now, this is going to be the ultimate Bonnie McKee interview.
I believe you.
I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it so hard.
I believe you. You know why? Because you have been here from the beginning.
Yes.
And I feel like you know all the lore, you know all the songs, you know all the alternate lyrics, you know it all. So I know you're going to give a great interview.
Thank you. And I'm going to give you so justice. And you know what? Bonnie clocked it already. I have been a massive Bonnie McKee fan for over a decade now. Literally over a decade now. I want to say since American Girl 2013, when she released her debut single American Girl under Epic Records. And I have been following her career ever since. I love all her music. She is literally my favorite artist. I was telling our producer, Brett, before we started filming, I was like, Brett, if you ever looked around my apartment, there are pictures of Bonnie everywhere in every room and everything we've ever done. But Bonnie, we actually met a decade ago, and this is such a fond memory for me. We met for the first time a decade ago in 2015. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this?
I do remember, yes.
Okay, I'm excited. So Bonnie was doing a show at a bar, a rooftop bar in Hollywood, the Bradbury Hotel, actually.
Yes.
That was my first time there. I was 19 and I couldn't attend the show. It was a 21 plus show. It was at a bar, but that did not stop me. I still showed up with a hopeful heart, naive as fuck, and I really was hoping that I can get in. While I was not granted entry and I was waiting in the lobby,
I tried.
Bonnie and her drummer actually came down and I ran into Bonnie. And I was so starstruck and I couldn't believe it. And it was the most incredible experience. And Bonnie actually did try to sneak me into that show.
I did. I tried.
You tried. You did a great job. She brought me in, pretty much holding my hand to the show. They let us in and everything. The second Bonnie left my side, they swooped in on my ass and they kicked me out.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, because I still heard the show from the lobby. And I was living, and I was having my own little acoustic dance party to that show. And you were promoting the Bombastic EP at the time, which is an incredible project. But you guys, I've had this Polaroid. If you're not watching on the video version of the show, please check it out. I've had this Polaroid of Bonnie and I for the past 10 years on every nightstand in every apartment I've ever lived in.
Aww.
And this is when we met for the first time.
Oh my
I look like garbage, y'all.
You
but
don't.
Oh, I do, but I don't care. It's what it represents to me.
Aww.
It's just like a dream come true. I made my birthday wish that year. This was September 5th, 2015, and I had turned 19 on August, the week prior. That my birthday wish for that year was to meet Bonnie. And yeah.
And it worked.
It worked.
Manifestation is
real. Period. So I made my birthday wish and I met you. And it was so lovely and it was the best time. And you introduced me to your entire team and you were so welcoming. And I was like a child. So I can't believe how sweet and nice you were. And I like rattled off so much to you because I had so many questions, which we're about to do again.
I appreciate people that really believe in the music and follow me, and I had seen you online, and it means a lot to me. My fans mean the world to me, and that's why I make the music that I make.
And honestly, it's why I even do what I do now, and I will definitely get into that. But you make such great music. But that's actually where we met for the first time.
Yes.
So there's a lot to get into the Bonnie lore. We're about to enter the BMCU, the Bonnie McKee Cinematic Universe. And to start, we have to start from the top. Bonnie McKee, how did you start your artist journey? How did you know you wanted to be an artist?
Well, as a child, I was raised by television, if you will.
Period. We have one of her parents right here, actually. One of her parents.
I grew up watching MTV, and like those are my earliest memories of media or watching music videos. And I remember seeing the the Thriller video and Madonna stuff and Prince and all of the early MTV stuff. And I was just fascinated by it. And I just remember thinking, I want to do that. And it was less like, oh, I want to play music. It was like, I want to play a character. I want to act. I want to wear costumes.
You want to make the videos.
Yeah, I want to dance. I want to sing. I want to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, I got into singing. I always loved to sing. And I would also write poetry. And I like won a local poetry contest in like, third grade or whatever.
I mean, you start young.
And I would write my own lyrics to the songs that I heard on the radio. So I was like, I guess that's like early songwriting stuff, right?
Right.
But I didn't realize that like songwriting was really a thing until later, until adolescence. But I was in choirs. I was in the Seattle Girls choir. I was classically trained. I learned piano, all of that. And then I remember I made a demo of covers.
Yeah. Your first songs ever.
Well, they were cover songs. I did Fiona Apple songs.
Yeah.
I did Bette Midler. I did Carole King.
Uh-huh.
And Carole King was the first icon that I was like, oh, she wrote songs for other people first. So that was the first time I was really aware that that was like a job.
It wasn't even on your scope at that point.
Yeah.
You were just watching the pop stars being pop stars in their videos.
Yeah, I had no idea that like someone else wrote those songs. Everyone just always assumes that the pop stars write the songs,
Right.
And some of them do, and some of them don't.
Right.
And then I made a demo of these covers, and my mom knew one guy in Seattle, where I'm from, that was in the music industry. And so she gave him the demo, and he said, "That's great. You can sing, kid, but can you write?" And I took that as a challenge because I had been secretly writing poetry.
Right.
And I went home and I started writing songs. And then I made a demo for a high school project. I gave it to everyone I knew.
Yes.
And it ended up in the hands of someone who I knew who someone who babysat for someone who was like fringe in the industry.
Very Hollywood.
Very Hollywood. Really plucked from obscurity. Like I had no connections to the industry.
Not a Nepo baby over here, y'all.
Definitely not. And my demo ended up on NPR randomly on Mornings Eclectic. And there was a big bidding war. And I ended up moving to Los Angeles when I was 16 years old by myself. Got a record deal, did the whole thing, put out an album. And yeah, that's how I got into it.
Well, you abridged it quite a bit, but yes, you have had such a journey, especially moving out to LA when you were 16. That's crazy. And you did it all by yourself.
Yeah.
But honestly, you were always like a rebel like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so that was definitely on brand for you just to like, I'm just going to be a pop star now.
I mean, I got kicked out of high school, so there was really nothing left for me in Seattle. So I was like, I'm out of here.
And then you got the opportunity and you never looked back.
That's right.
You just took off.
Still standing.
So Bonnie signed her first record deal at 16 with Reprise Records, right? Reprise. And this is where you started putting out, you started working on what is your first album, Trouble. And at the time, you were doing everything by yourself. You weren't co-writing. You weren't...
Correct. Actually, when I signed, I had already written the album. So I wrote that first album, which I am very embarrassed by. And I like have thought about taking it off of Spotify because I'm like, oh God, I didn't know what I was doing yet.
Yeah.
But I wrote them all when I was like 14, 15, 16. And so, I signed and I just recorded them professionally and not just like shitty demos. And but I didn't know anything about songwriting. I just was like doing what came to me. And the thing is like, I wanted to be Madonna. I wanted to be Britney Spears.
You are Madonna.
Like,
you are Britney Spears.
Thank you. But like all I had was a piano. Like I didn't even know what a producer was.
Right.
And so all of the songs on the first album are very like singer-songwritery. And I kind of got pigeonholed into that on my first deal where they were like, we want you to be Vanessa Carlton. We want you to be the girl behind the piano. And I was like,
you wanted to get up and dance.
I want to take my clothes off and dance around.
Period. And you're doing it now and you manifested that. So they kind of like put you in the position where it's like, okay, we're marketing you as singer-songwriter, but also you were a teenage girl at the time and your peers would have been like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, the pop girlies.
Yes.
And You mentioned before that you were secretly a closeted fan of the pop girlies. You love Britney, but
Yes.
you thought you were too alt to be into pop music.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I was very alt. I was a raver, first of all. So I liked dance music. So I knew I liked dance music. But I also loved like Radiohead and like all the classic rock stuff. And so I wasn't like super into grunge, to be honest. But I really liked weirdo stuff. I love Bjork. I love Fiona Apple. It was all kind of like, Seattle-y feeling stuff.
Yeah.
And that's probably where my influence came from as far as like doing sort of cryptic lyrics and stuff on my first album.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about like the pop formula of how to write a pop song.
But you still knew you wanted to make pop music, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't really even know the difference.
When you were
I was
making
so
the first
young.
album, did you like recognize that? I was like, this is not Britney Spears. This is like very different than that.
Yeah, I knew that it didn't feel right, but I didn't have the language or the experience to explain what I wanted it to be.
Okay, but it felt off to you.
Yeah, I was like, these are the songs I wrote, but I don't love this. I don't know that this is what I would listen to,
And back then, you were so precious about your writing and just the entire journey that you had with that. So, were they offering you other people to write with, or were you just like, no, I'm gonna have these songs that I wrote?
I mean, not really. And I wish they had, because I work with a lot of young artists now that I'm like, oh, wow, I wish that I had had someone like me to work with and
Well,
to
now
teach
you're
me.
doing it for them.
Yeah, and I love it. I
Yeah.
really love mentoring and working with young artists and everything else. Because I've been through that experience, and I know there's kind of like an ego death that happens when you co-write for the first time, where you're like, oh, someone else has an idea, and there's resistance,
Right.
But I try to make it as comfortable as possible, and yeah.
Because you didn't necessarily have that when you were working on your own project.
I did not. No.
Well, let's talk about that album and how you ended up leaving the label. It was very dramatic. It was your first little brush with being Delulu, derogatory.
Oh, fully.
So
Fully Delulu.
you wanted out of that deal.
Yes. So the first album came out. I was really disappointed because I thought that all of my dreams were coming true. I was like, I got this huge record deal
Right.
and everything's going to be great and all of my troubles are over, because I had already had like a pretty troubled past. Like I had problems with drugs and alcohol when I was living in Seattle. I got kicked out of school. I had a whole like traumatic life already behind me, and I was like, great, now my real life can begin.
You thought you were saved when you got signed.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Like that was always my North Star. Like everything's dark and crazy, but like as long as I can, make it, then everything's going to be okay. I thought that was going to solve all my problems.
Right.
So when the first album flopped, I was like devastated because I really believed in my bones. Like this is mine and I am going to be the biggest pop star in the world.
Absolutely.
Not understanding that the music I was making was not worthy of that yet.
Right. It was a journey that you were still going on.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I was still finding out who I was and like learning even just like the language of the music industry. So I got So I the album flopped, and then the label was like, okay, you got to start writing new stuff.
Yes.
And so I was getting better. I was like starting to understand pop melodies a little better and like how to simplify my
Were you
choruses.
co-writing at this time with the new music?
Not yet.
Really? So you were still like just natural talent, doing your own thing.
I was just
getting
trying.
better on your own.
Yeah.
They
And
didn't
there's
support you of giving you like any writers or producers?
I mean, they put me in with producers, yeah.
Okay, but not other co-writers.
Correct, yeah. And so I was still just trying to figure it out on my own, and they were not responding to me anymore. I think that they had blown a lot of money on me, and they were also disappointed that it didn't work out. And so I went from being like industry darling to like nobody answering my phone calls. And so I was frustrated, and I was like, I want to get out of here, or like put it out. I wanted someone to pay attention to me. I was also like really in the throes of alcoholism. I was like really a sloppy mess.
And you really needed like that attention validation from them. Either like, hey, someone answer my call, or fucking put out the music.
Yeah, do something,
Anything.
right? Yeah.
Anything. A reaction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had like this new batch of demos, and I burned them on a CD because that was the technology at the time. And I went down to Hollywood Boulevard and I bought myself a dagger that had a tiger on the handle with a jewel in its eye. And I went to the CEO's house in the middle of the night. And I took the CD and I stabbed it into the tree that was right in front of his front door.
So dramatic.
And then I went to his car and I wrote in lipstick, "Platinum Baby." And I was like, this will get his attention.
Oh, and it sure did.
It sure did. So the next day was the kids' first day of school.
Of course.
And apparently everyone was completely out of their minds afraid because they thought a maniac had come in the middle
A
of the
psycho
night.
had come by.
Yes, and they're not wrong. And needless to say, I got dropped. So mission accomplished.
You
It
got what
was
you wanted.
something. I had been in purgatory for like 6 years at this label and like put out one album. So I was devastated to be dropped, but also like, well, it's a new chapter,
And you know what? That was and is an artist rite of passage. You talk about it all the time. Like the greatest artists, they're oftentimes not even with their first label. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, all the greats have been signed and dropped.
Exactly.
Lady Gaga, Pink, Bruno Mars, Katy Perry, you name them.
But you weren't keen to it at the time. So you were dropped.
I did not know that. And I
world
thought that,
over.
yeah, I really thought that like everything was over and I was never going to work in this town again. And what am I going to do? Do I have to get a job at a retail store? I don't have any experience. I don't have a high school diploma.
Did you
What
think about
am I
going
gonna
back
do?
to Seattle?
I thought about it, but
Yeah.
actually, you know what?
Tell us.
I talked to, my mother is really into Ayurvedic
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
She had an Ayurvedic astrologer
Uh-huh.
that she had been going to since I was born.
Okay.
And so I was having a crisis, and
Yeah.
my mom was like, go talk to Chakrapani. And I was
Okay.
like, okay. So he happened to live in Los Angeles. So I went to this old, wise Indian man, and he read my chart, and he was like, I was like, what do I do? Do I go home? And he was like, pen to paper, write.
Start writing.
And I was like, what? I was
What does
like,
that
what do you
mean?
mean? Like,
You're
I don't want to
right.
write. I want to be a pop star. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was like, pen to paper. And then on this particular date, everything's going to work for you. And it was like 4 years away. And I was like, fuck you. I was so mad. I was
You're like,
like,
this is
I was
bullshit.
devastated. I was like, oh my God. And so I fought it for a while and I was finally like, okay, well, I guess I got to do that. And then guess what? To
Spill.
the date. That was the day the California Girls went #1.
That is crazy. And you remember that date too? Did you reflect, or
It's-
were you anticipating? Was it like marked on your calendar? Like, okay, this is the
No,
day.
I had forgotten about it where I was like, whatever, he didn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, so you just wrote it off.
Yeah. And then I have a cassette tape of that reading actually. And
No
then I like
way.
went
Do you
back and
revisit
listened to
it?
it. I haven't in a while, but I went back and listened to it and was like, holy shit, these dates are exactly on point.
Oh my God, I need to see this, man.
I-
Like,
well,
we
sadly,
need to
he's-
book an appointment.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's crazy because honestly, so you're in a position where you get dropped and you're devastated, your world's over. Now, you don't want to write. You want to be a pop star, but now it's about survival.
Yes.
You're doing demos, you were singing demos for other artists just to make some money, and then you started getting into songwriting. So, how does one accidentally, unintentionally, become one of the greatest, most successful songwriters of our generation, which you are?
Well, when I was still signed to Warner, they put me in. The one thing they did, I did have a great like junior A&R guy that was like on my side, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck these guys, whatever." But he put me in with a producer named Oliver, and I met him. It was instant chemistry. We ended up dating for like 8 years, but either way, he was the first person that I really collaborated with.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from him. And he was just about to sign a publishing deal, and I was like, "What's that?" Like I had no idea, didn't know anything.
Right.
And Josh Abraham, who was starting a small boutique publishing company, and he was signing Ollie, and I was like, hey, like, let me in there. Like, I can write too. And I was like, okay, I see him writing for other people, and like, maybe that's something that I can do.
Right.
But it was really just like, okay, maybe I can make some money. Maybe I can survive. Maybe I can pay my
Anything.
rent. Yeah.
Yes.
So I started writing with him, and people took notice. And so they ended up signing me to a publishing deal there. And I had met Katy Perry just out in the wild randomly. We were both broke artists who had been dropped from our labels, and we were selling our clothes at a thrift store in Los Angeles called Wasteland. And they're very snobby there, and so they were turning us both away. And so we bonded in line where it was like, oh, you're cute.
Both
I'm like,
being
"You're cute."
rejected.
Yes, both being rejected.
And Katy Perry actually recognized you.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She came up and she's like, are you Bonnie McKee? And I had never been recognized in public ever in my life. And I was like,
And the first person to recognize you was Katy Perry.
yes.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh my God.
Because she was a fan of your
yes.
first album.
Yeah, so she knew my work, and so I checked out her MySpace that day, and I was like, oh shit, like she's really good, and we have a lot in common. Like I feel like we had a really similar writing style.
Yeah.
And so we were fast friends, and so she was working with Dr. Luke, and he was the biggest guy in the world at the time, or he was about to be anyway, but he was like up and coming still, and so was
Right.
she. And so they put out One of the Boys that blew up, and then
They brought you on for the second
they
project
brought me on for the second
For
album.
Teenage Dream.
Yeah, and like Katy and I had had a falling out.
prior to the album coming out. Prior to working on the album.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so when Luke wanted to sign me, he was like, okay, I'm going to sign you as an artist and as a writer.
Okay.
But first, I want you to write on the Katy Perry album. And I was like, hell no. I was like, no.
Kicking
I don't
and
wanna-
screaming, no, I'm not
yes,
doing that.
I don't want to do that. And then she was like, fuck that bitch. I don't want her here. Like we did not want to work together. Okay. But I was like, I didn't really have a choice. And so I was like, okay, well, here we go. And I came in and I worked with her, and it was like we just had
It was magic.
we had a magic.
You
yeah.
guys started with Part of Me.
Yeah,
that was the first song that you both wrote together, which is inevitably becomes one of Katy Perry's number ones and also one of your number ones as well. But that song didn't even come out till the last part of the Teenage Dream campaign.
Yeah, originally we thought that was going to be the first single. And then we just kept beating ourselves. We kept getting better.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being on the deluxe years later.
So when you started writing with Katy for Teenage Dream, what was going to become Teenage Dream, you guys had a falling out. You start writing, you do Part of Me, It's Magic, and you guys continue. Was it like you had to build up to being able to be with each other, again, working with each other, or just after you wrote Part of Me, it's like, okay, we're good?
Honestly, like it had been a couple years because like one of the boys blew up and then she was touring and I hadn't really seen her and I was resentful and we like, you know, we had beef, but it was like once we got in the room, it was like
water under the bridge.
Didn't care. It was all good.
And you guys were making magic.
Yeah. And we were pushing each other to be the best we could be. And so there was a lot of like, you know, sort of butting heads where we were just, you know, I don't know. We just wanted to make the absolute best music that we could make.
And you did.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like this goes uncredited for you, but Teenage Dream, the album, the song, the title actually comes from Bonnie McKee. So that song title, that wouldn't even exist. That album title for that iconic album wouldn't even exist without Bonnie, and you do not give yourself enough credit for it. Because Bonnie was the one who came in with the concept for Teenage Dream. You guys have famously rewritten the Teenage Dream song so many times. And it was done by Benny Blanco. And you guys really kept going at it. You had different variations, you had different versions of it. And you talk about it in your videos and your content, your TikToks. But it was a difficult song for you to write. And you brought in the Teenage Dream concept and you nailed it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's maybe my proudest moment.
Yeah.
And then when I heard they were naming the album after that song, I was like, oh my God. Because like, I mean, blown away.
Yeah.
Like the first thing that I was just like, okay, this title like really actually was mine, you know? Like I really brought
more that too, because you have a running theme in all of your music, even from your debut album Trouble, of youth and just the, you know, being young and debauchery and all of that. So that was something you had to part ways with, that you kind of recognize that you're never going to be able to use that word again, teenage, right?
Yeah.
But it paid off.
It paid off. And honestly, if I had put out Teenage Dream as like an up and coming artist, like it would not have made a mark. So it was like the perfect artist at the perfect time. And also, obviously, I co-wrote that with Katy. I did not write that 100%, but like the title was the one that came in and saved the day. But Katy and I co-wrote that song. She's an amazing songwriter in her own right. So I can't take all the credit for that. Also, we were in the room with Max Martin and Benny Blanco and Dr. Lee, you know, the best producers and songwriters in the world. So no shit is going to be good, you know?
But you know what, Bonnie? Like if you weren't in said room with all those people, it wouldn't even be Teenage Dream. That song would be completely different. It would be something else. And we wouldn't have such a massive part of pop culture history. Like give yourself more credit. Like really. It's such a massive part of everything. And everyone knows that album. Everyone knows those songs. And California Girls, TGIF, Wide Awake, Part of Me. You've been a part of that legacy so deeply.
Thank you.
And it's incredible. And this was your 8 Mile moment.
It was. Yeah. I really had a moment because we had finally settled on the lyric of Teenage Dream that was like subpar. It was kind of like, okay, good enough. And Max was mad at us because we had been rewriting it so many times. And he was like, look, this is fine. We have a whole album to make, so we're done. This is done. I don't want to hear about it. And then they went up to Santa Barbara, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be invited yet. And I just was like, I know he said not to work on it anymore, but I know I can beat it. I know I can beat it.
Yeah.
And so I dug deep, and I thought about like the first time that I fell in love because it felt nostalgic. It felt young. But some of the lyrics that we had done before felt too young. Like one of them was like, you make me feel like I'm born again. All brand new. Come on, Peter Pan. And I was like, it's not sexy enough. It's not, you know.
Yeah, it's a little childish.
Yeah. And so we wanted it to be cooler, you know.
Right.
So I had my moment where I just thought about like, what was it like the first time I fell in love? What was it like to be really vulnerable with somebody for the first time and feel comfortable? Because like when you first start dating, it's like very nerve-wracking. You're nervous around people and you can't really be yourself. Yeah. And I remember the first guy that I dated and like the first time I was like, oh, like I can not wear makeup around you and you still think I'm pretty and you still like me.
Yes.
And just like the little inside jokes, you think I'm funny when I tell the punchline wrong. I don't know. So
I mean, it's so universally relatable.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all like find that moment where it's like, oh wow, I like found my person, you know?
Yeah, and then it manifested into Teenage Dream, which was the second #1 off of that album.
Yeah,
you guys started with California Girls, and that was the very obvious surefire hit. You obviously knew Teenage Dream was magic, and then you know you and Katy are both California Girls. True to true.
Yes, we are. Yeah,
and then you made a giant hit out of it.
Yeah, so we had Teenage Dream. We knew it was magic, but I think everyone felt like, okay, this is like the sophomore album. We want this song to shine, so we need like a banger, no brainer, dumber song that's not as emotional.
Yeah.
Not dumber, but like
Easier
just
to digest.
more like pop radio obvious.
Yes. Like hit you over the head. This is a hit.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's when we wrote California Girls. And Katy came in with that concept, and she had so many great ideas for the lyrics. And like I remember when she suggested Daisy Dukes, Bikinis on Top, I was like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I literally, that's my uniform.
Your literal
That's my
attire.
uniform.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It was inspired by you. She was looking at you when she wrote that. And then you would return the favor with Hold It Against Me with Britney
That's right.
Spears.
Yes, yeah. So I was also working on the Femme Fatale album with Britney Spears. At the same time, I was working on the Teenage Dream album. And I had the melody for Hold It Against Me, and I was working on that. And Max and Luca kind of put me in a room to do my thing. And then Katy walked in like a little latex dress, and she was like, banging bod. And I said, damn, Katy, if I told you you had a nice body, would you hold it against me? And I was like, wait, I gotta go.
And then another number one hit was born from that.
Yes.
You have such a prolific songwriting repertoire with so many classics under your belt, but I actually want to talk to you about a song that you wrote. It's actually a deep cut, and I want to know the lore behind it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about Turn Me Up by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh my God.
Off of her 2012 Kiss album.
Yes.
I have questions.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, my first question is, you actually featured 3 seconds of that in your Breaking Bonnie series. And
I did?
you did. You were singing, and turn me on. And then they pan to the camera of the lyrics of Turn Me Up being written in your notebook, which Bonnie only
Wait,
writes
really?
songs in notebooks.
I mean, look, I don't go back
Revisit
and like
Breaking
watch
Bonnie.
my own YouTube, so like
Okay,
I don't remember.
I do.
Oh my God.
I screenshot. I remember even a decade ago, because I'm a huge Carly Rae Jepsen fan. I screenshot that and I was like, oh my God, Bonnie McKee was writing Turn Me Up, which is one of my favorite songs on Kiss, by the way.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
Was that song originally for you?
No, that
Okay.
song Carly brought in like half of that melody.
Really?
So yeah, she was so humble and she was so cool. And Call Me Maybe was like the biggest song in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And she came in and she was just she was such a realist where she was like, look, I don't know if I'm ever going to have a hit again. Like, we're just going to try. We're just going to do what we love.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And I was like, I love your attitude. That's great. I think you are going to be a star, but okay.
Right. And she is.
Yeah. And so she brought in this little melody.
Okay.
And I just built off of that with her. So I cannot take credit for that. That was mostly her magic.
Oh, it's such an incredible song.
Thank you.
And then you guys also went on to work again on her follow-up album, Emotion. Unfortunately, it was not cut by Carly herself, but it's an unreleased song, which actually got cut by an international girl group, FX. But it was When I'm Alone,
Yes.
which is such a great song as
Thank
well.
you.
Can we talk about When I'm Alone
Okay,
by Carly
yeah.
Rae Jepsen?
So Carly was obviously like America's sweetheart, like even though she's Canadian, but
Yes.
you know, she was very sweet, girl next door. Call Me Maybe is so sweet and so
Cutesy.
cute, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we should do something a little racier. Like, picture this: Carly Rae Jepsen, masturbatory anthem.
And that was the headline. Yes.
Where I was like, I think you should
Anthem
write a
is the
song.
word.
I think you should write a song about
So this was
touching
your
yourself.
idea.
Yes. And so she was like, oh my God, love it. So we wrote this whole song.
So y'all did it.
We did it. We wrote this whole song. And then she was like, you know what? And then I heard her on like a radio show talking about it
Yes, Zach singing the gang.
where she was just like, you know, like Bonnie McKee, like love her and everything, but she wanted me to do a song about masturbating. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, well, why didn't you say so? But guess what? It got cut by this other group. That's great.
Yes.
And then she went on her next single, like on the next album,
Party
was a
for
song
One.
about masturbating. And I was like, Carly.
Did she ever apologize to you for that?
I think so, yeah. Actually, I think I have a voicemail from her somewhere where she was like, I'm sorry.
She clocked it. She remembered that
She knew.
y'all did it first. Well, When I'm Alone is so great, and FX's version is also really great. And it's so exciting that you've been working with so many different artists. I noticed that a lot of the artists you work with are largely female or queer artists, and you really bring that tone and voice into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I've lived my whole life as a girl, and so
Yes.
that's relatable.
Yeah.
I do like writing for guys, too. And
I mean, you did Dynamite with Tyler Cruz.
I did.
Massive hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a great songwriter. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I am good at the female perspective, obviously, but I think it works for anyone. I try to write songs that anyone can sing.
They're
you know what I
very
mean?
universal, and they're very timeless.
Thank you.
And I would love to get into that. But before we do, I wanted to talk to you about how you don't even write anything outside of a notebook. Very classic. To this day, do you still use a notebook?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Just like when I need to memorize something, like earlier we were trying to do something and I was like, I have to look at it. I have to see it.
Would it help if you wrote it down?
Yeah, usually. Like if I have to
Oh.
do a cover song, which I don't very often, but like I cannot remember lyrics to save my life. Like if I
Really?
write
What
it
about your own?
down, huh?
What about your own lyrics?
My lyrics are fine because
Okay.
they came out of me. And
Right.
because I already wrote them down.
Right, there you go.
But like if I want to remember something or if I have to remember a script or anything like that,
You have to physically write
Yeah,
it.
I write it down and then there's like some connection, mind-body connection where I'm like, okay, it's like ingrained in me now.
You have an
Yeah.
incredible series on TikTok where you go through your journals, and these are pop music archives of the making of some of our favorite songs, and you show us a roadmap of how we get to the final lyric.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're able to see that because you wrote it in a physical journal.
Yeah, and the other thing is when I write on my phone or on a computer or whatever, I have a tendency to erase things because I'm like, oh, it's sloppy or I'm not using that or whatever. But when I write it down, it's there. It's there forever.
You
So
can't-
all
you
of my
can't delete
stupid
that.
ideas, yeah, everything is saved. And I'm so glad.
But it's a part of the process.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And especially writing in a journal. And I think even having those pieces of pop culture, like in your home, how crazy. I saw the one where you were talking about writing Wide Awake and the journey to get to where Wide Awake ended up.
Yes, yeah.
And it went through a lot of changes too.
Yes, it did. That one was not nearly as, that was a pretty easy one, to be honest. But originally it was no matter what, because I heard like something, like Max does these.
Like a
sort of-
gibberish
yeah, like
singing
a
melody.
gibberish melody.
Right.
And it sounded like he was saying no matter what. And I was like, oh, I like that. Like no matter what, I'll be there, no matter what, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know. I don't remember where. Maybe I talked about it before. I don't remember why
You
it
did
came
in a
from.
TikTok. Yeah, and then you end up going in the direction of coming out of the Lion's Den. This was the closing chapter of
That's right.
Teenage Dream, the campaign, and also Teenage Dream as a whole. We're waking up from the Teenage Dream wide
Yes.
awake.
Yeah, it ended up being kind of like a sister song to Teenage Dream. So
Yeah.
when
perfect book ends.
Yes. When we wrote Teenage Dream, Katy was engaged. She was very happy. She was on cloud nine. And that is what's reflected in the artwork as well, where she's on a pink cloud, you know. And then by the time she had done this whole world tour and we were working on the deluxe, she was facing divorce and she was in a very different place. And so Wide Awake was about waking up from the Teenage Dream, waking up from, you know, the fantasy of the love that she thought it was going to be. And also, I think, you know, escaping a narcissist, you know.
And we'll get into that.
And so it's a really special, unique opportunity to be able to go through a journey with an artist like
Yeah.
that and to be
The
able
full
to.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still write in physical journals of your music today and everything that you do today?
Yes, always. Yeah.
Still do.
Yes.
Never gonna go to a computer, Google Doc, type in a notes.
No, I mean, I've definitely had to, and I hate it.
You must be filling up these journals.
Yes, I have hundreds of journals.
Well, you know what, Bonnie? You have another one now. I was trying to transition into that.
God.
We have a new journal for you to write your next hit song, a Delulu journal.
So cute. Thank you. And I
Yes.
absolutely will.
Okay, please do. I hope you write the
you.
next slay in it.
I will.
Okay,
You know I
period.
will.
I hope the next
I'm
album
manifesting
is
it.
in. Period. I'm manifesting that too. I want to see it. And when you do your little TikToks of the roadmap to
You got it.
I'm going to see the Delulu journal.
You got it.
Okay. Well, I'm so excited for the next hit song that you write in that journal.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I know it's going to be a giant smash, as everything that you do. You have such a hold on pop music,
go
especially
on.
with this resurgence of 2010s pop. People were so nostalgic for it, and you came back swinging at the
Thank you.
right time. So you have your first record deal.
Mm-hmm.
You get dropped from it. You're devastated. You start songwriting as a necessity. And now we move on to signing your second record deal
Yes.
with Epic Records.
Yeah.
So what happens with Epic Records? You put out an incredible first single, American Girl.
Thank you.
And it's actually, in my personal opinion, it would have gone all the way if it had more of a push and more of a life, but that's neither here nor there.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really devastated because I was like, guys, we're like number 22 on the Hot 100. Like, we're
Yeah.
close. Like, let's just keep putting some gasoline on the fire. Like, what are we doing? But I think it was like the holidays happened, and so there was a lull, and they were like, oh, it's over. And I was like, no.
Right.
And so, yeah, so they were like, all right, we're moving on to the next single. And I was like, ugh. And so I had written a bunch of these songs for the Hot City album, but they didn't think that there was a single in there. Which
and
is
this
insane.
you were writing this simultaneously while working on the Prism project
Yes.
for Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And Britney Spears' Femme Fatale album as well.
Femme Fatale was happening while I was doing Teenage Dream.
Okay. And then you were doing
Prism, I was simultaneously doing my own album.
And this was like your best work.
Yes. And when American Girl was on the radio, I was competing with myself with Roar.
Roar.
Which I'm like,
Absolutely.
I'm never going to be that one. But,
Well,
you
do
know.
you feel like the label was like having these high expectations for you?
Absolutely.
Because you have so many number ones next to your name, but you're essentially a brand new artist.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Yeah. If I had been just like,
Jane Doe.
just Jane Doe coming from Ohio or whatever, and my first debut song charted at number 22 on the chart or whatever.
They would have been like, who the fuck is this
Yeah,
girl?
they would have been like,
oh my God.
throw more money at it. But because
Absolutely.
I'm competing with myself with these huge number one global hits, they're like, oh, it's a flop.
And that's unfair because like you were competing with yourself on the radio at the time, not
Yeah.
even just with American Girl and Roar, but just in general with the accolades that you had racked up. By the time American Girl had even been released, Bonnie has had 8 number one hits, which doesn't even total her final tally. I mean, not even final, we're getting more, but at the time there were 8 number ones to your name when you released American Girl. And that was like their expectation of you to
Yes.
have another number one for yourself.
Definitely.
Did they like manage that expectation? Do you talk to them like, hey, I am a new artist. I'm being introduced to the public right now?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just was like,
They got lost in the
I was
mix.
also working so hard because like working on an album like a Katy Perry album for a major artist like that is a full-time job. Like that really requires your full attention, and also working on my own stuff. So, you know, I trusted that I didn't trust actually because I already knew because I had already been in a shitty deal, and I was like, I don't think that these people know what they're doing, but like I'm gonna trust that they
might figure it out.
like I don't have the answer, but they stopped throwing money at it, and it went away.
Can I ask you, before you signed to Epic, were there other labels that you were considering, or were there other options that you could have explored?
Yeah, I was talking to Interscope, which was also I've turned down 2 record deals from Jimmy Iovine,
Really?
which is insane.
When you reflect on that, do you feel like it was the right choice still?
No,
Really?
no, I wish I'd signed with Jimmy Iovine. Sorry, Jimmy. Like, what's
I mean,
up?
I know plenty of Interscope artists who are not developed, so I feel like it's hard to say. It's easy to look back and reflect and be like, I should have done this. I could have done this. I feel that way all the time about myself, but really, like, it might not have been like what you expected.
This was supposed to be my journey, and I've accepted that. But
Yeah.
like, it's weird to think that Jimmy Iovine tried to sign me twice, and I had to turn it down both times. And both times that I turned it down was because I was like listening to the people around me, and like I feel like maybe I should have just trusted my gut.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. The journey to Hot City was not an easy path, and Hot City was actually an album a decade in the making, which is insane. But leading up to Hot City, you put out American Girl. It honestly does incredibly well, and it would have gone even further if they continued to support it and push it. And you're gearing up for your second single now, which you already decided was going to be Slay.
Yes. Well, they were like, you got to write a new single real quick. And I was like, okay, well, everyone's looking at me right now. My song is on the radio. I already have all these other songs. Are you sure that these are not good enough? And they were like, nope. So I was like, guess I got to write a hit real quick. So I got in the studio and I started working on Slay, on what would become Slay. And I was so under the gun. I was so nervous. I was under
It's a
so
lot of
much pressure.
Yeah.
And so there are so many writers on that because I was like, okay, cool.
You're calling in the best.
I was like, the pre-chorus is great. Like, I need help with the verse. I need help with it. And so I just called all my friends. So that song probably has the most writers on it of anything I've ever done because I was like, I need help. I'm just calling all of my friends.
Your best song, personally.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so I wrote it, and then L.A. Reid was like, okay, great, smash, let's go. And I was like,
So he
cool.
was on board initially.
Yes. And then I booked a tour opening for the Jonas Brothers.
Which is a massive opportunity. That would have been arenas.
That would have been arenas, and that probably would have launched everything for me. So I'm like freaking out. I'm so excited. I love the Jonas Brothers. I've met them. I've written with them. They're amazing. And then got my band together. I was rehearsing for like 6 weeks. We got an amazing tight show together. And we were, the night before, we celebrated. We were all going to go out to the first stop in Phoenix. Everything was shipped to Phoenix.
The flights were booked.
The flights were booked. Everything was shipped. And then I got a call the day before the tour started from their manager. And he was like, the Jonas Brothers have broken up.
And the tour was done. Tour was canceled.
Tour was canceled day before.
No one was on this tour. The Jonas Brothers were not on this tour.
I had T-shirts made for the
Everything
Jonas
was ready
Brothers
to go.
tour. Everything was ready to go. But yeah, wasn't
That is
meant to
so
be.
fucking crazy. What are the odds that would happen?
I know, it was terrible luck. And I have really extreme luck where it's like I either have like the most amazing, unbelievable things happen to me, or I get like the 1 in a million chance that like something is going to go terribly wrong.
Because you had a summer with like 3 #1 hits, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're doing your artist, you're reintroducing yourself. And besties, Bonnie's journey has always been to be an artist. She was not trying to be a songwriter. Obviously, that was an accident. And you were reintroducing yourself as an artist. This was your time. You put in the work, you put in the years, you honed your craft, you made all these hit songs, and it was time to hear your voice on the radio. You booked the tour with Jonas Brothers. Ends up not working out.
Yeah. So okay, first of all, when they first told me that they were going to stop paying for American Girl on the radio, I was once again devastated. It was the same moment that I had when I got dropped from my first deal, where I was like, it's over. It's over. It was just this, I really thought that
There's
I
so
had
much momentum.
Yeah, I really was like, okay, everything's going to be okay. I had a moment of like joy and peace, and I could relax, and the anxiety went away, where I was like, I'm going to be okay. I'm finally going to have a hit for myself. And then when I got that call, I was devastated. And then it was like, okay, write a new song. And so I went in.
You just went back to work.
I went back to work. And then that's when I wrote Slay. And that was like a song that I really needed to write for myself.
And
where
for me.
It was like what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, motherfuckers, let's go.
Yes, it's a very like pick me up. You can do this.
Yeah.
And that's such a running theme in all of your music, perseverance and making sure that you can still land on your feet. So you write this song, you are doing promo for it at this point. You are.
Yeah. So I had already been, prepared for that. And when the Jonas Brothers thing fell through, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to find myself a tour, because like they are just like, oh, well, the second single ain't going to happen. And like Jonas Brothers fell through. So I was like, I'm about to just get dropped again. Like everything is just going to fall apart all over again.
And
I can't let that happen.
You didn't want to get dropped.
No, I was like, okay, they're funding everything. Like it's working. So I'm like, okay, I got to keep them believing in me. I got to keep the momentum alive.
Oh my gosh,
They're paying
Bonnie,
for radio.
This is so much pressure.
I know. I was dying. And so I was like, okay, I have these friends, this duo called Carmen.
Queen Herbie now.
And I called her up and was like, she was also on Epic. And I heard they were going on tour. And I was like, let me open for you.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, let's go. So I booked the tour.
Yes.
They didn't even think of that. I'm like, they're literally on the same label. Like it
felt
didn't
like
occur
it
to
would
you.
have been natural to like put you on the tour.
Yeah. So anyways, she brought me on tour. They brought me on tour. I was so grateful. And I had this whole album. It wasn't even finished yet, though.
You're still working on it.
I was still working on it, but I played all of these songs that from the album that eventually ended up being Hot City. And I met so many fans. I had so much fun. I loved playing these songs live. It was incredible. Slay was like starting. It was on the radio. Like we were getting some radio play.
For it
yeah,
too.
I was doing promo.
Yeah,
and it was getting a good response. And then in the middle of the tour, L.A. Reid called me and was like, "Yeah, we don't think it's a hit."
So he changed his mind.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, I fronted the money for this tour. I already paid for this."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, well."
So then what happens at that point? They say they don't believe it anymore. Do they ask you to give another single?
No, I mean, as soon as he was like, Slay's not a hit, I was like, I want out.
You didn't even think like, oh, maybe I should make another one. I should turn to something else. There was nothing else on Hot City.
I was like, I've been here. I cannot live like this.
Yeah.
It's too devastating. I cannot be shelved again. I want out.
You were going through a lot at the time too, because then you thought it was the end of the world when American Girl was pulled. And then now you're gearing up for the second single. You believe in it so much. You're touring the songs. You're getting a great reaction from radio. You're getting a great reaction from fans from the tour. And then the head of the label tells you, we're done.
Yeah, basically like Royals came out.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I've talked about this before.
Yes.
I'm a huge Lorde fan.
Let's start there.
When that first album came out, I listened to it and was like, this little girl is a genius. What an incredible lyricist. What a beautiful, interesting voice. All of the harmonies. I am a fan, okay? But it changed things.
For the landscape of pop music in general.
Yes, it changed things in pop music.
They wanted you to have a royal-esque song.
They never said that, but it was kind of like, okay, Slay is a maximalist, sparkly pop song. Roar was kind of the last of those. Roar in America, it was like the tail end of this era.
Yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, no, that's not going to work anymore. And I'm like, I just got here. You
just started putting out the music and you're making that music. And this is the music that you've been wanting to make your entire life, because you started making the singer-songwriter type music, the Fiona Apples, Vanessa Carlton types. And then you never knew how to find your sound until you met Oliver, and you guys perfected it. This is the classic Bonnie McKee sound, and it is sparkly, it's maximalist, it's big anthems. And it was exactly what the early 2010s pop music was.
Yeah, and I was finally like, okay, I know what I sound like.
Yeah.
I know who I am as an artist. I know what this is. And so, yeah, so when he was like, we don't get it, I was like, then I gotta go.
Well, Royals also took your Grammy for Roar.
Yes. Yeah, which is a devastating story. So there I am at the Grammys. We were nominated for Song of the Year, which is the only Grammy, by the way, at the time, where a songwriter would actually get a Grammy.
Yeah, you get the little statue.
Yeah, which every other thing, even if you get Record of the Year or whatever, the songwriters are not acknowledged. They don't get a Grammy. You get nothing. So I'm sitting like second row at the Grammys with Katy in front of me. The cameras are all on me. And like this was the biggest song of the year.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
it's a diamond certified single.
And I was like, I think we might actually win this, right?
Yes.
And the person giving away the Grammy was my idol, Carole King. And I was like, this is so fitting.
It's
my
so
whole life
divine.
has led up to this moment.
Yes.
I'm going to fucking win a Grammy right now.
Yes.
And she says, and the winner is Royals, which sounds just like roar.
It was a big controversy online. Yes.
It was literally for like 1 second,
You
one
had the
single
Grammy.
second in my life, I had won a Grammy and my idol was going to give it to me. And I was finally going to be like, I made it. I made it.
Right. And then Laura took it.
And then Lorde took it.
You know, you had your name on the screen and they said your name when they were doing the nominations. And then they were about to say your name as the winner.
It wasn't me. Wasn't me. But look, Royals is a great song.
Right.
It also won like 4 other Grammys that year. I think she probably could have done without that one, and we maybe.
I feel like
that
Roar
one.
was definitely very deserving of it.
I
It was
think so,
such
too.
a big song.
But
and it's-
sometimes when songs have so much, and movies too, when they have
Yeah.
so much commercial success, they don't win the awards because everyone's like, enough of you.
like the awards are really tricky with that. Like sometimes they're like, let's give it to the underdog this time, and then the year the underdog is like very, very deserving of it. It's like actually let's give it to the biggest commercial one, and then when it's the biggest commercial song, it's like actually let's give it to the underdog.
Yeah, they just like to keep you guessing, you know.
They do, yes.
But
That's
either way,
entertainment.
I am proud to be a Grammy-nominated songwriter.
Yeah.
I'm still very proud of that.
You got to hold
and-
that for the rest of your life.
Exactly, yeah.
And honestly, you still are very capable of winning a Grammy.
Thank you.
I will be personally speaking to the Grammy committee about Hot City after
Thank
this.
you.
I will
Thank
let
you.
them know. I'll submit them myself for you. So this album, Hot City, that we're talking about now, it took a decade to finally come out. You were making these songs simultaneously with Prism. This is some of your best work. And
Thank you.
what happens after you decide that you want out of the second record deal with Epic Records?
Well, I didn't realize that when I left, I couldn't take the songs with me, or I couldn't take the masters.
If you knew that you couldn't take it, would you have stayed?
Maybe. I mean, I was also just like,
Would they have released it though?
I don't know. But here's the other thing. At this time, I'm stressed, okay? I was just getting sober for the first time. I was breaking up with Oliver, who had been my boyfriend for 8 years.
And you guys were making the album together, by the way.
Yes. And things were going weird sideways with the record label. Like there was all of the major pillars in my life were crumbling. And I was like, I just like can't deal with this and I want out. And I
Yeah.
didn't really think it through.
So do you feel like it was an impulsive thing?
Like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
But I was also like, I had been convinced by the LA Reads around me that like, okay, this kind of music's over. Nobody wants this anymore. And so that had kind of tainted it for me too, where I was like, oh, this like isn't cool and I'm not
It like
Lorde.
spoiled it for you, and you were so proud of the work you were doing.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, nobody wants it. So I guess whatever. Let's go.
Oh no.
So I left
Yeah.
and I made Bombastic. And Bombastic is really a song that was like my middle finger to the
It
industry.
was a fuck you to the
I
music
was
industry.
like, fuck all of y'all. I'm going indie. And then it debuted in the top 10 on iTunes.
Hot City, that album that you're making with Epic Records, it was untitled at the time, but it eventually manifested to Hot City. And the journey to Hot City was a decade-long one.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it had its road bumps and moments where you felt doubtful of yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what? This album finally came out.
Yes. And so after I had toured with it, right? So all the fans knew these songs and I had abandoned it. And like, it was broke my heart, but I was like,
I was a personal fan who downloaded MP3s of your live performances of Hot City and would listen to it because it was just so motivational and affirmational and so powerful, and it made me feel every type of way. And I had the shittiest little live recordings of her on the Postal store on like taken on like, I don't know, a fucking potato. It was all I could work with. Thankfully you had one thing of I Want to Call You with Yahoo that was actually pretty decent. It was still a live performance, which is incredible.
Thank you.
But it was not the studio quality, girl.
I know.
And then I was like bootlegging these songs for the longest time.
Yeah, and I kept, over the years, I would run into people, or I would talk to people online, like you, like Emily, like, you know, all of the fans that were there from the beginning, and everyone was like, we love Hot City, and we love Forever 21, and we love, you know, all these songs. And I was like, how do you guys even know these? And then I was like, oh, all of these demos leaked?
I had a cult following too.
Yeah. And I was like, how did this happen?
How does that feel when that album ended up leaking?
I was devastated.
What did you think? Like,
so
did you think
upset.
you were like, okay, then that's it. It's ruined. Nothing's happening with this
That
album.
was the other thing, is I was like, okay, they leaked. Well, cool. The fans can just enjoy the leaked versions. And like, I'm really, really bummed because I thought that meant they couldn't have a life, you know? And so I had given up on Hot City. I had moved on to Bombastic. And then I just, well, look, there's like a lot of years in there. Hot City didn't take 10 years to make. I made it 10 years ago. And then I abandoned it.
The journey to Hot City was 10 years.
Yes. And then over those 10 years, I kept meeting fans that were talking about those songs. And it would
We never gave up on that album.
It would break my heart a little more every time, because I was like, I know, I love it too. I'm so devastated, but like, Sony owns it. There's nothing I can do. Nobody wants that kind of music anymore. And then a few years ago, I got on TikTok and people were talking about these songs, and I was introduced to a forum that was like 500 pages long of all of these super fans talking about these unreleased songs. And there were people that had tattoos of the lyrics. And, you know, you would come to anything that I ever did, any show that I played,
Every
you would show
single
up
thing.
and you would keep talking about it. And you know what? Just those little affirmations of you guys telling me that you wanted it was enough for me to be like, you know what? Like, maybe I can make it happen.
And you started considering maybe putting it out or
Yeah.
trying to put it out. You
Yeah.
started exploring the options too.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care if it's not trendy. I don't care if this kind of music isn't relevant anymore. There's people that are rooting for me that want to hear it, and I just want to share that with this small group of fans. So I went through the whole legal rigmarole of going back to Sony, figuring out the licenses for the masters, blah, 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 blah. I ended up re-recording everything so that I now own the masters.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, pop music started shifting. And then everybody wanted recession pop again. And I was
The
like,
perfect timing.
well, what do you know? That
Yeah.
happens to be exactly what I'm doing. And I have an album that I made in that era.
Yeah. And
So-
everyone was nostalgic for that.
Yeah. And everyone just kept saying, oh, we miss Teenage Dream. We miss this. We miss
was
that. Like,
all over the
bring it
internet.
back. And I'm like, okay.
And I want to talk about Hot City. So, Brett, let's go to Hot City.
Oh my God, yes.
Welcome to Hot City,
I
Bonnie.
love it. Thank you.
I was so excited for that. And you killed it, Brett. Thank you. We rehearsed that like 3 times.
I love it. I love it.
Well, welcome to Hot City. It has been a long time coming, and we are finally here. Hot City is more than just an album. It is a timeless, evergreen body of work, and it is a full world that you built in the BMCU, Bonnie McKee Cinematic Universe. It is Miami skylines. It is palm trees. It is sunsets. It is everything. And we escape to Hot City. This is true paradise for us, especially any pop music fans. So I want to talk about Hot City with you. The journey to Hot City was a long one, and you had to re-record the entire album, of course.
Yes.
So going through the process of re-recording it, revisiting these songs, did you spend a couple years or time not listening to the songs?
Oh, yeah. No, I avoided them because it broke my heart every time I heard them.
Of course.
Because I love them so much. And I was like, they're never going to see the light of day. They leaked, and they don't have a chance.
We have Hot City here.
Yes.
It matches our background. So this is Hot City, besties. If you're not watching on the video version of the show, this is the vinyl version of Bonnie McKee's second album, Hot City. It is incredible, and we're all going to check it out, of course, and we're going to manifest with it later. But I wanted to talk about Hot City. So re-recording the songs, revisiting the songs, and you did a little bit of facelifts for some of the music too.
Yeah, for sure. Because when I first toured these songs, they weren't finished. Like, I was still writing them. So there were some temporary lyrics And then I was like, oh man, these fans have been listening to these bootleg versions. And I'm like, they weren't even finished. Like, don't get too attached.
I was very attached.
So I didn't want to like change them too much because I knew that you guys wanted them to be like in their purest form or whatever. But I was like, you know what? I think that I can beat it. I think I can. This isn't saying exactly what I wanted to say. So I gave them little facelifts. Obviously, the production I think is a million times better than it would have been and than it was back then.
Because they were essentially just demos too.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
just
thing.
touring with demos.
Yeah, like some of them didn't have bridges, some of them didn't have final vocals, and like filler lyrics. So I was glad to have the opportunity to really polish.
One of the songs that you did the biggest changes to is actually fan favorite, Everything But You.
Yes.
It opened previously with I Put On My Boots, My Red Leather Coat, the one with the silver spikes, the one that you liked the most. And then you changed it to I Put On My Boots, My Big Leopard Coat, the one with the sweet perfume, the one that you said you liked the most. So what was the reason for those opening lyric changes?
Honestly, like I am such a visual person, and like when I heard the lyric, like I put on my boots, my red leather coat, the one with the silver spike, like a red leather coat with silver spikes. I don't really wear red, okay, because I'm a redhead, and so like
You can't compete.
yeah, and it also like really made me think of like Michael Jackson Thriller look, which is cool. Which like look, Michael's like probably my number one fave, but I was like, this just like doesn't reflect who I am anymore, and like it was also very of the era. I was wearing a lot of spikes, a lot of leather, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like me in a big leopard coat is more me. Like that's,
More you.
That's like always
It's something
been
that you would
me.
probably wear, right?
Yes, and I do all the time, and I have been for my whole life. And I was like, that is like a Bonnie McKee staple because leopard is a neutral. Okay, so I always have a leopard coat.
You
in
have a
my
leopard print
closet
at all times.
Yes.
You really do. And then, yeah, so the song ends up evolving from the original demo. You change it from the red leather coat to the big leopard coat. And you made this change in the recent years, in the 2020s, when you're revisiting, re-recording. I have a question to ask you about Everything But You. I was doing my research on the song, and there's not a lot out there on the song, and, you don't talk about it enough, which we're going to talk about right now. But I have a theory about the song. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. Be delicate about it, but is Everything But You actually about me? Because I met you when you were wearing a big leopard coat.
Oh my God,
and
see?
I actually told you, I was like, I like that sweet perfume you're wearing, Bonnie. It's the
Oh
one I
my
like the
God.
most. Do you remember this at the airport?
I don't remember that, but that
me
is
talking
amazing.
to you during the
That
Bombastic
is
era.
amazing. See, I always have a leopard coat.
A
Leopard is
big
a neutral.
leopard coat. When that song came out, when you released Hot City, I was like, I remember a big leopard coat Bonnie
Yeah.
McKee wore once.
See? But have you ever seen me wear a red leather coat with silver spikes?
I can visualize it.
You can, but have you seen it?
We-
No.
We have yet to find
That's
the proof
real.
of that. We'll ask Emily to discover if that does exist. So is Everything But You actually about me?
Yes. Yes, every word of it.
Well, Bonnie, I need you to know you do have me. So you have everything and Ryan.
I have everything and more.
Exactly, and that's a manifestation. Oh my gosh. Well, I also love the new lyrics for Everything But You. You also changed the chorus. So
Yes.
instead of saying, I know I'll be all right because time is on my side, you changed it to, the stars are on my side. And obviously here at Delulu, we really do believe in the stars and the cosmos and tomorrow. We'll get into it. But yeah, you changed the lyrics too. And then you also changed a little bit more of the lyrics as long as the song goes on. Instead of like, my phone's always ringing melody, everyone's singing my melodies. This song becomes more deeply personal to you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Was that intentional?
Yes. So time is on my side. I'll be all right because I know time is on my side. I don't feel like time is on my side.
Interesting.
And so that always rubbed me the wrong way, where I was just like, it's not though.
And are the stars on your side though?
The stars are on my side.
Period.
And that's something that like, that is in my sort of like manifestation practice and my little like witchy
Absolutely.
stuff is like, I believe the universe is on my side and the stars are looking out for me.
You have this journey of incredible highs and incredible lows, and it's honestly like whiplash, the way it goes up and down.
Yeah.
But when you look back at your career and your life thus far, and you mentioned that the stars are on your side now in Everything But You, do you feel like the divine timing of everything does make sense when you reflect?
Yes. And I think that one big shift that has happened since I was signed to Epic is I realized that I was putting all of my self-worth and my value in my success. And that's a really dangerous place to be.
I feel like I do that right now.
When you make success your higher power, you're destined to fail.
Oh God, then I don't do that right now.
I mean, success is obviously, I mean, that's been the driving force in my life. I'm very ambitious. I have things I want to do. I want to change the world. I want to help people.
Let's do it.
But I realized that like I don't need to be number one to make an impact. And honestly, talking to people like you and talking to the super fans and seeing the forum and interacting with my fans online and meeting people at shows, people will come up to me and cry and hug me and say that my songs help them through their divorce or their weight loss journey or their battle with cancer or whatever. Like and I realize that that's really why I do this. I really do this because I want to make a human connection. And it doesn't matter as much to me now with how many people I do that. If I just reach one person, then I feel like I've done my job. And, I might be one of those artists that everybody discovers after I'm dead. I don't know. But
we're not letting that happen.
I mean, of course, I want to succeed. Of course, like, that's the goal. I want to be the pop star, right? But
sure, why not?
but I'm just happy to have a stage to stand on. I'm happy to have the connection with the fans, and that has really like given me so much peace.
Yeah.
And really brought me back to the reason that I started doing this in the first place. And yeah, just not making success my higher power has really changed my life. And also, I think open doors. Like, I feel like the universe has rewarded me for that, where I'm like, if my intentions are good and if I'm in it for the right reasons, then I feel like the universe rewards me.
I mean, the universe has been responding incredibly well to you, and you have had such success in the recent years as well. But you know what? When you mentioned speaking to the fans and having them tell you their stories, I tell you this literally every single time I've seen you, probably for a decade straight now. But your song Slay, which was originally the second single for this Hot City album, and it still is the second single actually, but originally the second single under Epic Records, that song has absolutely changed my life.
Oh.
And I'm going to say it, I'm going to talk about it here because I have to. All my friends know this about Slay and my relationship with Slay, but that song has gotten me through every point in my life, my career. I listen to it before meetings. I listen to it before big projects. I listen to it when I'm nervous. I listen to it when I'm not nervous. I listen to it every day, and it's changed my life. It's honestly, honest to God, why I think I'm where I am today and even able to have this podcast and beyond that, have this audience and my besties and people I can connect to. And it's because Slay gave me that motivation. And I don't know what I would have done. Even before you officially released it in 2023, I was listening to an MP3 version of you performing it on the Carmen Pulses tour. And that was what I would just listen to every day. It was a shitty little recording of it, but I would listen to it every day and I lived the lyrics.
That means so much to me. And that is literally why I do what I do. And I tend to write a lot of songs about perseverance because it's what I need to hear.
Yeah.
I'm writing songs that I want to pump myself up and I want to keep believing, I want to stay Delulu, okay? I want to stay in my Delulu. And
well, your Delulu's your trululu, genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to believe.
Yeah.
I feel like that reverberates through the energy in the universe.
And it reflects across your music everywhere. So not only is Slay such an powerful affirmation song, but you have so many powerful songs that are just so motivating, so you can do it, so empowering, such as American Girls, another really motivational song, Waking Up Diagonal, which is another deep cut for Bonnie. That's such an empowering one. Don't Get Mad, Get Famous. I say that every day. And Bombastic, of course. And those are just a few songs that are in your discography. And it's just so powerful. You make very strong affirmation music.
Thank you. Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like the reason that it does connect with the people that it connects with is because I have struggled. And I am living these words, and I'm writing them as like a powerful spell for myself.
It works. Like Slay has made me a huge star.
Yes, baby.
It's made
love
both of us a huge star. And that's what I love about Slay. But I have an entire segment on the show dedicated to Slay. That's how much I love this song. And there's not enough lore behind the song for me to feel satisfied. Can you take us back to writing this song? The year is 2013, 2014. You're writing under the gun. Epic is pressuring you to follow up American Girl. You bring in writers to help you write the song. Where did Slay come from?
Well, originally, actually, the track, Ollie made the track. And the track was magic. And it was
So
when I
powerful.
first met him, when I was still in my like singing demos phase, I heard this track and was like, there is something here. Like, this is really special. And I remember there was another artist like at this shitty studio we were working at who like wrote a song over it, and I was like, no, I threw a fit. I was like, that's mine. I was like, you cannot have that.
So you fought for the song.
I fought for that track.
Thank
and
you.
then I like sat on it, and like originally it was called Cinematic Suicide, which is like.
Was that yours? You wrote Cinematic?
Yes, I wrote a song. That was the original title. It was a different melody. It was a different everything. But it was like.
What was that one about? Same production.
Yeah, same production.
What was that one about?
It was like, I'd die by your side, a cinematic suicide.
Interesting.
I die by your side, cinematic suicide.
Okay.
But it was like, you know, it was like weird and kind of cryptic, but it was, you know, about just like being there with someone and like I'd do anything for you.
Yeah, like an unconditional love type song.
Yeah. But then at the moment when I was like, fuck, I need a second single, I was like, that track has always, I love that track so much. And I always had the bridge melody. But I knew it. Yeah.
You and I was like, don't make me sing it, please. It's so high.
And so, but that felt like too, like I knew I wanted to keep that melody, but I wanted something a little more rhythmic. And so I wrote the melody for the chorus as it is now. And I remember Ollie being like, because I was like, I need something to kick off the chorus, like, and I was like trying to come up with something really clever. And he was like, what if it's just like, come on, everybody, let's go. And I was like, you know what? Brilliant.
A staple in Bonnie McKee's music.
Yeah. No, he really taught me a lot. Like, Ollie is not traditionally a lyricist, but like the simplicity of his ideas are great.
Oh, it resonates so
where I'm just
too.
like, you know what? I learned a lot from him about that because I was really,
let's go.
Yeah, I was like overwriting, you know, I was like getting too flowery, getting too like, you know, esoteric. And the slay thing, I was like very self-conscious about because I had heard people had just started using the word slay. And I was like, I really like that. Like, and I want to like spell it out like, what's it called? The safety song? The safety song.
I don't know. Was that the...
S, 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 hey, 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 F, F, F. It's like it's like, we can dance, isn't it? We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Is that what it's called? Safety dance. Yeah.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah. It's like a song from the 80s. It's like a ridiculous, like down under song, whatever. But I love the spelling out. And I was like, okay, I want to spell it out. And I was like, I know this is weird, but I want to spell slay. Like, what do you think? And everyone's kind of like, eh. And I was like, I don't care. I like it. I think it's great.
Really?
And then that was the other thing, 10 years later or whatever, where I was
it got really popular.
I was like, I already wrote a song called Slay 10 years ago.
Girl, you were a tastemaker. You were a trendsetter. You were the original. You were the OG.
Way ahead of my time.
Way ahead of your time. The OG redhead pop star. We'll get into that later. But that's incredible. So then you really believed in that word and you wrote slay with your co-writers.
Well, also like because I was under so much pressure and like this was my moment to shine, I was like, okay, I've got everyone's attention. Everyone's looking at me. I need to step up and slay. And I always like in my mind when I heard the track, I saw like She-Ra, like with a sword. And I saw like Sailor Moon like blasting through space. I was like, I want to be like space goddess. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, and I feel like slay, like I see the sword, you know? And like, this is a song about like, okay, I'm going to step up. This is another like 8 Mile moment for me, you know?
Of course.
And so that's how Slay was born.
You guys, if you haven't seen the Slay music video yet, please look it up. Bonnie McKee Slay. It is such an incredible music video. She begins by paying homage to the 2013 American Girl era and the generation that she was raising at the time. And it's such an incredible fucking video. It's vibrant. It's bright. It's very classic Bonnie McKee.
Thank you. I also built that vault.
Yeah, you did.
I built that vault in my living room.
And it looked good as hell.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have guessed that it was a DIY project. Of course, like you're an indie artist, so you're funding all of this by yourself, and it looks incredible. It's coming out incredible. The music sounds incredible. You would never guess.
Thank you. I mean, I think a lot of people assume because I have had all this success with these other things that I'm like funded. I'm not funded.
You're self-funded.
I'm self-funded. I have like 3 people on my team that help me out.
Right.
And we do everything ourselves. And we are just like getting our hands dirty. And I like being really hands-on. I learned so much, you know, but you know, it's hard out here being indie. But I think because like the final result looks expensive, people are just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like there she goes. I'm like, no.
So much work that goes in behind the scenes to make it. You went on to say before that you feel like a song really isn't completed until there's a video for it.
That's kind of how I feel.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, that's just for me. A lot of people are more just like they really listen to the music. I really like to watch music. I like to have a visual experience to go with it.
Absolutely. And you know what? You were a manifestation queen because you grew up watching MTV, VH1, and looking at all these pop stars and their music videos, and now you were doing that. You visualize that. You put yourself in those videos. It was your first stroke with Delulu, and now you're doing it.
I mean, it's one of those
trululu.
things where it's like, where there's a will, there's a way, you know? I think I spent a lot of years waiting for someone else to do it for me. And then once, there wasn't a white knight that was going to come along and solve all of my problems and do all the work for me.
You got to save yourself, like Shiro.
Exactly.
Your own hero.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so thankful for that song. Thank you for that lore. Oh my gosh, the Slay lore. I'm gonna sleep with a smile on my face tonight.
I'm so glad.
I just love that song so much, and I love hearing about it.
Thank you.
What an incredible song. So I want to talk about another song that's on Hot City, another fan favorite, and not only a fan favorite, but a widely recognized and critically acclaimed song and video. We're gonna talk about Forever 21.
Okay, yes.
So Forever 21 is a kiss off to your party girl days when you were indulging in drugs, alcohol, escapism in whatever means you can. And it is a sparkly, bright, classic Bonnie McKee pop song. But y'all, if you listen to the lyrics and really truly listen to it, or even listen to the stripped down acoustic version, which is out on the Forever 21 EP, it is a haunting, dark song.
It is dark. When I did the acoustic broken down version of it, I was like, fuck, this is depressing. This is sad.
It's dark. You know, the bridge, even in the fully produced, maximalist, beautiful, sparkly, original version of it, every single time gives me full body chills. When I'm driving and I listen to it and I get to the bridge, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really scared I'm gonna crash right now. Because I'm like physically affected. It is a dark
Thank
song,
you.
and I want to get into Forever 21. So your music follows the hero's journey. We just talked about Slay. This is probably one of the only songs you have released right now that I'm aware of that doesn't follow the hero's journey. No one wins in the song.
Yeah, this is like the dark night of the soul, right?
Absolutely.
This is the low point.
Yeah.
But it's disguised because it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's sort of satirical. I'm sort of poking fun at my darkest moments, because I love like a deep dark song that's disguised as a sparkly pop song. That's
It's
like
your brand.
That's like my favorite.
It's your favorite. It's your music.
Yeah. So like at the time I was making this, I was still drinking, but I was like trying to get it under control. And I hadn't like fully accepted that I was an alcoholic yet. And, but by the time it was finished, I was like, okay, I'm here. It's time.
You're writing the song in a moment of self-reflection.
Yes.
And you're acknowledging a really hard truth.
Yes.
That you have a problem.
Definitely.
And then this song was born out of it.
Yeah. But I wanted it to also to be like, because I never want to be, so I'm 13 years sober. But thank you. But I never want to be preachy. Like that's my journey. Like everyone else can do, you know what? Have a chat for me. Like that's totally your business.
Yeah.
I am not judgmental. And I certainly don't think that like a song about being sober or whatever is going to be super popular, make people feel good. And I wanted it to be something that people could still party to.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun when I was drinking, when I was using, it's just like it got dark and it needed to stop. But it was just kind of like, acknowledging that and like sort of giving it a moment of just like, that was fun, but also I was a train wreck.
Absolutely. It's a dark moment on the album, like genuinely lyrically, because again, a lot of the music on the album is the hero's journey. It's you're the champion. You come out on top. You win.
Yeah.
And then this is like a true vulnerable space where you're like, man, like, oh my God, the bridge, forever young and dumb, forever unafraid, forever in the sun, forever wearing shades. Just going into acknowledging like you don't want to let go of that experience of that life.
No, it's hard. And, when people get sober, like, well, it's like, it's saying goodbye to a chapter of your life, and it's scary. And everyone's like, oh, I can't have like a glass of champagne at my wedding. And it's like, is that really going to make your life that much better to be able to have,
personal journey to
yeah, it's everyone's personal thing.
And then you were able to write about it in Forever 21, which is incredible. And then the music video for Forever 21, it's so fun, guys. Look it up, Bonnie McKee, Forever 21. Do it right now. You play a sloppy bridesmaid.
Yes. So when I was thinking about making this video, I was like, okay, I know I want it to be bright and colorful, whatever, but I need it to be set in a place where there are really obvious social norms to follow, etiquette that you follow. And also when you're directing a music video, you have to tell a narrative without the crutch of dialogue.
Right.
So you have to be able to see it.
Yeah, it has to be flashy. It has to make sense.
Yes, you have to be able to see the story and understand what's going on without somebody spelling it out for you or having subtitles or whatever.
Right.
So a wedding seemed like a perfect place to do that. And I loved being, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. I enlisted all of my friends, everyone in that video. I think we had like 30 extras or something. They're all my friends. They all came out for free, and I just paid them in Buca de Beppo. And I was like, who wants to go to an 80s wedding? And I'll feed you. And they were like, hell yeah.
Yes.
So I had Molly Tarlov, who's one of my best friends of awkward fame. And she's an incredible actress and comedian. She's so funny. So she was the bridezilla,
right?
Although she wasn't really a bridezilla. She was absolutely in her right
within her right to be upset at how messy Bonnie's character was in this music video.
And then my rival Eden, who is also another pop star, she was the maid of honor, and we get in a big cat fight. She's
trying to wrangle you in, girl.
Yes, she's just trying to, put a 10 on that circus. And everything goes horribly wrong. And it was really fun, and I directed it. I co-directed it with my friend David Richardson, who is incredible. We also did the Bombastic, Stars in Your Heart, Easy. We've done a bunch of stuff together. Jenny's Got a Boyfriend. And we just are simpatico. We're on the same wavelength with this kind of like retro future kind of stuff. And it ended up getting into Tribeca Film Festival.
Isn't that incredible?
Which is a big deal. If you don't know about film festivals, Tribeca is like one of the big ones. It was started by Robert De Niro back in the day.
Yeah.
And I feel so validated. And I was just at Tribeca last week. And
congratulations.
Thank you. I was just so full of joy. And it was so validating to feel like my music video is being seen as a piece of art and not just a piece of content.
Absolutely.
Because to me, everyone's always like, why do you make music videos? Like, it's just like, there's no return on investment. And I'm like, well, bitch, it got me to Tribeca. So.
Period. And do you ever reflect that when you think about it? Like, let's say Forever 21 came out a decade ago. Let's say Hot City came out a decade ago as the original album under Epic. Would it have been recognized like that? Like, do you think it would have gone the flowers that it's getting rightfully so right now?
No, I wouldn't have been directing it. I wouldn't have had all of the experience that I have now.
Yeah.
Because
it needed to happen like this.
Yeah. I made a short film in the pandemic. I directed the Slay video. I directed Don't Get Mad Get Famous. I co-directed the Jenny's Got a Boyfriend. Like I finally had experience.
Yeah,
and so I think by the time I arrived at Forever 21, I was like, okay, I'm like an actual director.
And you got your flowers for it. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And
thank
so
you.
much more. And you also won an award for it as well.
Yes, it's won a few awards in the film festival circuit. I didn't win at Tribeca, sadly. Lost to LL Cool J, but it's fine.
Next music video.
But I'm just happy to be there. I'm really, really honored to be there.
Well, can I tell you something about Forever 21? So the music video, the outro of the music video, when you're being dragged out, making some mess, you're a disaster, and it's slow-mo, cinematic motherfucking masterpiece.
Thank you.
I cannot believe it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, this is literally a movie. It is insane.
Thank you.
It's comical too, by the way. Like, she's thrown out.
Yeah.
She's quite literally thrown out at the end of the video. But it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
like, it is heartbreaking.
It's sad
she's a
and
mess.
it's funny and it's dark and it's hilarious at the same time. That's my favorite.
It's your brand.
Yeah.
It really is. It's everything that you love wrapped up into a video, and it really encapsulated that. Well, congratulations on all the success for Forever 21.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
That's exactly what you said. It must be so fulfilling to know that like your art is being seen.
Yeah. Like I ran into some guy in the elevator at Tribeca, and he was like, so how was it? And I was like, honestly, like one of the highlights of my life. And he was like, really?
What?
And I was like,
why?
Bitch, if you knew
what
I had to go through to get to this fucking festival.
Sir, listen to Delulu of Ryan Liu, the Bonnie McKee episode, and then you'll understand why it's a big deal. And it's a big deal regardless. So even if you didn't have that journey, Tribeca premiered Taylor Swift and Beyonce's
and Miley Cyrus just did a full
with Something Beautiful.
Visual album.
It's a big deal. It really is a big deal. And you were just there to be celebrated for that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That is incredible. Forever 21 is a giant favorite of mine, and it's a huge fan favorite. It was one of the ones that you were being spammed in the comments for when you're deciding if you're going to do Hot City. Okay, so Bonnie, I have to address this, right?
Okay.
I have to. I bring it up every time I talk to you too. Don't be nervous. Be a little nervous. Okay, ready? Here's my campaign. Justice for Waking Up Diagonal.
Oh, yes.
So Waking Up Diagonal is a song that Bonnie had written for herself for this project, and she was being a team player for her co-writers and gave it to Cheryl Cole in the UK. And guess what? It went number one.
It went number one.
How was that experience, especially knowing that this was for you? This was going to be your song. It's your story.
Yeah.
Someone else sings it. It goes number one.
Yeah. I was really, it's a mix of emotions. I was really bummed to give it away because I loved it so much. And
Me too.
It was like, me going through this breakup with my like 8-year-long boyfriend. And then he like moved on really fast, and I was like losing my shit, you know?
Oh, God.
So it came from a really personal place. And also I loved the track. My co-writer, Jocko, who was in the Teddy Bears, he's an amazing Swedish guy.
I Want to Call You, right? Did you do it?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you. And my friend Johnny Newman and I all wrote it together. We did a bunch of stuff together. And I did Everything But You with him as well. And I was like, this is so good. I love it. It's so different. It's so uplifting, but it's still got that bittersweet thing.
It's an empowering song. And there was something so empowering to scream, I don't care, bitch. I don't fucking care. And I love that song.
Thank you. Well, yes, it ended up being called I Don't Care, which I was so bummed about because the opening line is waking up diagonal like an animal in a cold and empty bed.
Yes.
And I was like, this song is called Waking Up Diagonal.
I love that.
Which is like, would stand out. And I feel like, look, it went number one, so I'm not complaining.
I think it was your 10th number one.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I think so.
I think so. It was a later one in that 2010s era. So with Waking Up Diagonal, like you co-wrote so many number one songs for different artists, and now this is your own song. And now it goes number one too, but it's not your voice. It's not you as an artist who's singing it.
Right.
How does that feel? How do you reconcile with that?
You know what? I was actually really proud of it.
Really?
Because
Good.
it was the first, well, actually it was the second. It was the second number one I had without it being with Max Martin and Dr. Luke.
Yeah, and these are the producers on Hot City.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt like I had such imposter syndrome. Like when everything first started blowing up, everyone was like, oh my God, congratulations, like you're killing it. And I was like, I just am in the right room. I'm with the best in the world. Of course it's going to be a hit. I don't know how much I really had to do with it. Even though I knew that I had done the work, I was just like, whatever.
There were big parts of those songs, like, but I understand the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't feel like I've done anything because I was just like with the best in the world, right? And so when I Don't Care went number one and when How We Do went number one, I was like, okay, I have my own number ones where I'm not with the biggest person in the world. And they're like unlikely artists to have a number one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so validating.
So I was like, okay, I did that one all by myself.
Yeah.
Not all by myself. Obviously, I have my co-writers, but
right,
you know,
but you didn't have
not with Max Martin.
The big ass pop producers at the time for that.
So I'm really proud of that. And
I'm proud of that too.
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's like it's I mean, to me, it's always going to be your song.
Thank you.
And I love Waking Up Diagonal. I have to ask, are we gonna get Bonnie's version of it?
I mean, it would feel like a cover, wouldn't it?
No. Because, to be honest, Bonnie, it's your literal story. And it's you. And like, let's get into it. Let's get into like the bridge, right? Like, I can see the Milky Way and it seems so far away. You sing about the cosmos, the universe in so much of your music. It has such a through line. It is so definitively Bonnie McKee, colorful, visual lyrics. It wouldn't seem like a cover. Cheryl's seems like a cover to me.
Oh, come on. She's great.
She's amazing.
Great. I like said something in an interview about it when it came out where I was like, oh, they changed some lyrics and I like wasn't happy about it. And the headline was like, Bonnie McKee hates what Cheryl Cole did. I'm like, no. I just like, because it was so personal to me, but I love what she did. Like she killed it. And I'm like, and I was like, thank you so much. Like I was so grateful to have that number one with her, you know?
Yeah,
like that was like a big moment for me too.
And your co-writers, they didn't have a number one at the time, by the way. Yeah. That was their first number one. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about, this is a song you actually very rarely talk about. So I want to talk about Electric Heaven.
Oh, yes.
This is the current single for Hot City Deluxe.
Yes.
Tell us about Electric Heaven. Where did this one come from? I always think it's like, it's your most Britney song? Like vocally when you're singing it, it's giving Britney to me.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about Electric Heaven.
Yeah, Electric Heaven is a song I did with, again, Jocko and Johnny Newman, who are amazing. I did a lot of stuff with them on the Hot City album. And I went out to Sweden and Jocko had this really cool track started.
Insane beat.
And I was like,
my God.
This is rad. And it felt like drugs. It felt
euphoric.
Yeah. It felt like, I don't know. In my head, the story is kind of like when you're having a wild night and like maybe you take some mushrooms or something and they're just kicking in and you're like,
oh, and that's Electric Heaven.
You're like, I got to find my person.
Okay.
You're like on the journey to be like, I have to find the one person that's going to be like, and I feel like it's kind of like that in life too. Like, or if you're at a party and you're starting to panic and you're like, I need my like home base person. Like I need to find my person.
Mm-hmm.
And also just like, living in chaos with someone because like that was kind of my relationship with Ollie for a long time where we were like both partying and it was wild and it's part of like what I did miss in my Forever 21 song, where I'm just like, yeah, it used to be fun. It was fun for a minute, you know?
So this comes after Forever 21.
Yes, I think so.
At this point, you're already sober.
No.
Not yet. You're getting there still.
Yeah. But what I mean is that they both are kind of like reflecting fondly on like the chaotic years.
Absolutely.
For me.
Right.
So yeah, just like having a partner in crime.
Mm-hmm.
And, we talk about like, get in the shot, let's make a movie. You be the star, I'll be the
And
groupie. It's a little bit of a sex tape. It's a little bit of a,
It goes there everywhere.
No, it's definitely like one of the sexier songs.
Yeah.
And it's a little darker. I don't know. I really love this song.
I love that song.
And I have a very special guest on the new version of it.
And the music video, you actually just shot it this week, which is crazy. Do you ever sleep?
No.
You don't sleep?
Nope,
No.
Not really.
Okay, me neither. I actually spent so many sleepless nights working on this episode. So I'm right there with you. Okay, well, we have another fan favorite from Hot City. They're all fan favorites.
Wait, hold on. I have to say who the special guest is, which I might be out by the time this comes out.
It probably will. Who's our special guest?
Special guest, the feature on the new version of Electric Heaven is Kaisa, the one and only Kaisa.
Wait, aren't you touring with her this summer?
I am touring with Kaisa this summer in August, baby.
And are we all going to see them in LA at the El Rey in September?
Yes, come and see us.
Oh my God, wait, that's so exciting. You just filmed the music video.
Yeah, we just shot the music video.
What's different about the feature?
There's a bunch of really fun ad libs. Like we get to play off each other because she can sing. Okay, Kaisa's an incredible singer, and so she just she brought a whole new vibe to it. It's been really fun getting features on these songs. Like Don't Get Mad, Get Famous. I got Sophie Powers. I got Kaisa. I have another one that I haven't announced yet.
Girl, you're gonna have to tell me.
I will. I'll tell you.
I'm gonna need to know the tea-lulu spill.
But it's because this album was written 10 years ago, and I was
you did
just
it by
kind
yourself
of.
too. Like, I was no features.
Yes, I did. Yeah. So bringing in features was really nice, and it made me realize how lonely I had been in the creative process because all the songs were already written. So I didn't have any co-writers to play with. So like bringing in other artists, I was like, yay! Like I love having a new voice on it. I love doing ad libs with them. So
it brings a new life to those songs.
Totally, yeah. It was really fun. I'm excited for everyone to hear.
Oh my God! Well, I'm so excited too, and for the music video, I already know it's gonna be sickening.
Ooh, yes.
Oh my gosh! Yay! Okay. Well, we're looking forward to that on the Hot City Deluxe. Mm-hmm. So we are gonna talk about Jenny's Got a Boyfriend.
Yes.
This is Bonnie's true Delulu fantasy, y'all. Truly, 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 truly Delulu. So the music video is so out there and wacky. Classic Bonnie McKee. But let's talk about Jenny's Got a Boyfriend. How did this song come about? You're sampling an iconic riff from it, too.
Yes. Yeah. I originally did the track with a DJ named Switch. And I did One Day with him. This was maybe the fastest song that I ever wrote on the album, or really kind of ever. He came in with this track. I didn't know it was a sample. And I was just like, this is fire. This is like 80s sparkle, everything that I want in a track. And at the time, me and my little group of girlfriends, one of our friends had a boyfriend who was just such a flirt. Oh my God, he was shameless. Ooh. And like each of us individually were like, privately, like, I think he's like got a thing for him. Like, I think there's something going on. And the other one would be like, no. Like, I think he likes me, actually. And so it was just like kind of an ode to that, where we were all just like jokingly, like, he would never actually do anything about it. But it was just like, I don't know. He's sitting pretty close to me. Like, what's going to happen?
In the back of the cab.
Yeah. And yes. I love songs with names in them.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not enough of them in the world. Like, Billie Jean, Jesse's Girl. And this is also kind of like a reverse of Jesse's Girl, because like we've heard that from the man's perspective, but we haven't heard it from a woman's perspective.
Right.
So, I don't know.
It's such a fun one.
Thank you. I really love it.
So Jenny is a real person.
Jenny's a real person. Her name is not Jenny, but she's a real person.
Does she know Jenny's Got a Boyfriend is about her?
No.
To this day, she doesn't know?
No.
Ooh, Scandalulu. That's crazy. Would you ever tell her?
No. No.
She wouldn't listen to it and be like, familiar.
I don't think so. She was like kind of peripheral, you know what I mean?
Totally.
But like they were around.
Do your girlfriends know?
Oh yeah, they know.
Oh, they know.
And we would all joke about it, and we would just like blast the demo in my car back in the day and drive around, and like we would know and no one else would know.
It was like an inside joke, and now it is a pop banger. Yeah. That is so funny. And the music video is so fun and silly. It was filmed in a roller rink. You actually learned how to roller skate for this music video.
Well, I knew how to roller skate, but I didn't know how to skate backwards, and I didn't know how to spin.
All the tricks.
And so I definitely got better, and I got more graceful. So I could like stomp around in some roller skates, and like I love going to the roller rink and stuff, but I got a lot better. So,
Bonnie, you love a laser tit.
I do love a laser tit. I really do.
Let's name it. Bombastic. Stars in Your Heart. Jenny's got a boyfriend.
I just realized that there's 3 music videos where my tits light
Right
up.
now?
Yeah, just now.
I've done my research. And it's about to be 4 with Electric Heaven. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know.
Sadly, no light up tits, but actually, well, we'll see.
And you know what? Let's give it to Slay, because the light reflecting off of your
That's
tits.
true, yes.
We'll give it to Slay, too.
Yes,
so let's do 4.
I wanted to be a human disco ball for Slay.
And you were.
And I was.
Oh, so fucking iconic.
Thank you.
Well, that's so crazy. I love the Jenny lore. I'm so happy to hear that. Yay. Okay. So we already talked a little bit about Hot City Deluxe. I want to know more about Hot City Deluxe. What can we expect?
Well, I have a bunch of really exciting remixes. I have features on a couple of the songs. I have 5 new songs. Well, I have 5 new songs from the vault.
From that era.
Yes, from the
That
era.
didn't make the original cut.
Correct, yes. Which has been difficult because there's a reason why I didn't make it on the first version of Hot City.
Okay.
Because they were songs that I was like, there's something here, this is great, but it's like, it's broken. And it's going to be too much work to like pull it apart and put it back together. Honestly, that's been like the biggest delay because I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm just like, it's not right. It's not right. I'm just such a perfectionist.
I'm a huge perfectionist too. Oh my God, yes. I get it.
I'm just like, y'all, you're just going to have to wait. Sorry, you're going to have to wait till it's right.
Oh, and we're ready whenever you're ready.
Yes. So we've got Somebody's Gonna Get Hurt.
I was literally going to ask about that one.
And I actually just made a TikTok that I'm going to post soon about, I wrote 3 different bridges for it because I was like, the bridge isn't good enough.
Really?
So there's new bridges that I think are far superior.
What happened to the lock on the phone?
I don't like it.
No, why?
It doesn't sing well phonetically.
Okay.
But still, you got that lock up on your cell phone. I don't like it.
Same melody though.
No,
you changed
I
it?
changed it. I changed the chords. I changed the. It's great. You'll like it.
Oh my gosh. I already love it.
It's better.
Of course. It always is. But so Somebody's going to get hurt. Yay. What else we got?
We got Outlaw.
Oh, classic. A deep cut.
A deep cut.
They've been asking for that one.
Yep, which was originally written for Britney Spears.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, I had her in line, and then in mind, and then I remember I heard Criminal because it was like on that album, and I was like, damn, this is like kind of the same sort of outlaw, like
Criminal.
a little bit
Yeah,
Wild
she can't do it
Westy.
twice.
Yeah,
Totally.
And so I was like, oh shit, but I loved it so much for myself, and the track is so good. The track is it's all Oliver.
I've actually have never heard that one.
What?
I respect you, Bonnie. I would never listen to a leak.
Oh my God, you're so kind.
Of course. I'm excited here for the first time. City Deluxe.
No, the track is really sick, and I didn't really change that much about it because I was like, this is just perfect. I don't know, I love it.
Oh my gosh, yay.
So yeah, that one, Dashboard, which
Okay.
you may not have heard.
Also have not heard.
Yeah, so I think some of these are sort of deep cut ones that people didn't necessarily know.
Well, you know what? For me personally, and this is really just me, because these song titles that you're saying, I have seen them in your comments. I've seen them, like, people discussing the music, right?
Yeah.
So I know they exist. I personally haven't listened to them because for me, Hot City was always the album you toured with Carmen.
Right.
So if you did not perform it live,
Yeah.
I never heard it.
Yeah.
I didn't look for it. So it was just Hot City, Everything But You, Forever 21, I Want to Call You, you know, of
You're
course,
a purist.
Sleepwalker.
You're a
I
purist.
am. I'm a big fan of bodies of works and albums. And that was the album. You know what I mean?
Thank
I
you.
didn't explore other possibilities. Even, fun fact, Lulu, Show You Mine was originally titled Show Me Your Love. And it was on the whiteboard that you showed to JoJo.
Oh, right.
I also, that was actually, I think that was something that never leaked, by the way.
I think you're right. It was like really not finished at all.
Wow. Oh my God, it's one of my favorites on Hot City.
Oh, thank you.
Oh
I
my
feel
God,
like
I
that
love
does
ad-libs.
not. It doesn't get a lot of love.
Oh,
but
you're gonna get the love here. The ad-libs on Show You Mine are so sick. You're
Thank you.
I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Thank
I
you.
love Show You Mine. It's such a good one too. That was such a treat for me because it was like a truly, truly, truly new one. Of course, in Snatch on the Hot City album. But yeah, that was one of the ones that didn't leak, and the album to me, like in its pure form, was what you toured with Carmen. So I don't know about all these other ones. I'm excited to hear it. This is actually
Great.
going to be a new project for me now too.
Oh, great. I love that. Yeah, I figure a lot of people haven't heard it unless they're really digging for it.
Oh, they're digging.
So it is new.
Yeah, we're excited. And then when's Hot City Deluxe coming out? When can we expect it? What do we think?
We're thinking summer.
Yay! And we're ready whenever, and we're going to be streaming it, everyone. Okay, well, we're so excited for Hot City Deluxe.
Thank you.
And we're going to get into a little manifestation exercise right now, a little manifestation practice with Bonnie. So, besties, if you have been, I'm just subtly turning on a speaker so we could do this. Ignore her. So, besties, if you have been trying to manifest a text or a call from a specific person, this is literally exactly how I do it successfully. This is my trade secret, and you're getting it here exclusively on Delulu of Ryan Liu with the creator of this trend herself, Bonnie McKee. But this is exactly how you're going to get them to call you. We're going to play Bonnie's song, I Want to Call You, which is featured on Hot City and also Hot City Deluxe, of course. And in the bridge, she has this little bit, and she literally manifests a text from this man.
It's true.
And we're going to do it together right now.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
You guys.
Yes, Bonnie.
Don't let me text him.
Okay.
Do not let me text him.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's him.
Yeah. See.
I mean, really?
It hasn't even been like 2 days yet, bro.
Relax.
I want to fucking
Call you. Take my phone away.
Bessie's visualize this. They just called you.
'Cause even
Answer
if I
it.
want to.
Even if I want to.
No, I gotta wait.
I gotta wait. I don't want to wait.
Yes.
Oh my God, wait, I'm living.
I
Just
love
as a
it. You know
fan.
the ad libs. I love it.
Oh, every breath you take on Hot City, I know.
Oh my God, I
Every
love
breath
you.
take on
Thank
Hot City,
you.
I know. And that
the
was me
best.
too, because when you updated the song, when you produced it to what it is on Hot City, you added ad libs.
Yes.
Because you didn't perform them originally when you did it.
That's the thing. A lot of the original songs from back in the day on the Carmen tour didn't have the ad libs. And so I was like, yes, I finally get to like complete them because I love an ad lib, y'all.
And then you added the ad libs to Everything But You. And then, of
Yes.
course, I Want to Call You. Yay. Okay, bestie. So whenever you need someone to text you, whenever you need someone to call you, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to pull up Bonnie McKee, I Want to Call You, and you're going to listen to the song all the way through. But when you get to the bridge, start feeling and visualizing them texting you, being excited about it. She literally manifests it for you right there in the song. And that's your secret to manifesting.
That's right.
That text. Congrats. Let me know what they said. I'm nosy. Well, Bonnie, we have talked about Hot City. I am thrilled as a fan to know the lore behind Hot City. But now we are going to play a little game with you.
Okay.
We're going to be putting you in the Hot City hot seat.
Okay.
These are deep cut questions
Okay.
that have never been answered that I am dying to know about
Let's
this
go.
album. And I want to get through them with you.
Okay.
With Miss Bonnie McKee here herself to answer it. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So our first question is the person that you fell in love with on American Girl in a 7-Eleven parking lot Kesha? So on Kesha's album Warrior, she sings on Only Want to Dance With You. Drinking wine on the cement, fell in love on accident outside 7-Eleven, which Bonnie also co-wrote 2 songs on Warrior, by the way, Come On and Supernatural. And in American Girl, Bonnie sings, I fell in love in a 7-Eleven parking lot, drinking Slurpees we mixed, sat on the curb drinking Slurpees we mixed with alcohol. Was this Kesha? Were you singing about each other?
I'll never tell.
Oh, so it is about Kaisa. Okay. Okay. That's tea-lulu. I'm going to listen to both songs very differently now. Well, actually, I've always listened to it like that. Thank you for that. So, when you were under Epic Records, you said before in an interview that you had 2 songs that you made with essentially the dream team. It was Dr. Luke and Max Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And the label felt like American Girl was actually the strongest lead single choice. Those 2 songs didn't have the time that they needed to really shine and be fleshed out. So I wanted to ask you, was Everything But You one of the Max Martin songs? He's registered as a writer on the BMI repertoire.
Okay. I don't know why he's registered on that one because he didn't write on it.
Interesting.
He did come in because I was working with him while I was making my own album, and I was like, can you just come in and listen and tell me what you think, right? I mean, if anything, I would think he would be on American Girl because I remember I played him American Girl, and on the pre-chorus was like, I'll just keep moving my body. Yeah. And then he was like, yeah.
Love it. Yes.
And I was like, and guess what? When I play it live, that's the part everyone sings. I just keep moving my body.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is tea-lulu. Oh my God. I'm just shook because I'm like, what the fuck? Max Martin touched that.
He didn't. I don't know what happened there.
For Everything But You, he had no involvement.
No.
Did you know he was listed as a writer on the
I saw
BMI?
that it was registered somewhere.
Yes.
And everyone always gets that one and Electric Heaven mixed up because the titles are similar.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know if I think that he just came in and listened to it, and then I don't think he contributed anything.
Did Max like your album when you were first making it and you were playing it?
I guess. I
I mean,
don't
of
know.
course he liked it. It's a pop masterpiece.
Oh,
and he
thank
has
you.
taste. Well, can I ask you what those two songs were? I know one of them was with Dr. Luke and it's called Right Now.
Yes.
Do you have the title of the other one that you worked on? Do you know it? What happened to that?
Oh, it was called Summer Fever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which I always loved summertime. Hey, it's my
Period.
season.
Oh my God, you own summer. You are summertime girl. Oh my God, thank you for that tea.
Yes.
Thank you so much for playing
Thank you.
the Hot City Hot Seat. We're gonna do a little manifestation exercise right now.
Love it.
To close out the Hot City era until we arrive in Hot City Deluxe. So, Bonnie McKee, welcome to the part of the show where we fake it till we make it.
I'm here for it.
Well, you deserve so many flowers for Hot City and everything you've ever done, and I'm here to give that to you. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, girl. So, Bonnie McKee, congratulations. You just won Album of the Year.
Oh my God.
A VMA. If you're not watching the video version of the show, I'm awarding Bonnie McKee with a VMA, and it is deeply my honor to present you with this VMA for Hot City. This is for all the videos on Hot City. This is a VMA Video Music Award.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little speech for the folks at home,
Oh my God,
please?
yes. Thank you so much to everyone that made this possible, especially Ryan. I am so proud of this album, and I put all of my heart and soul into it. I love visuals. I love music videos. This is the reason that I got into music, and this just means the world to me. And I'm just so happy to be recognized as an artist. Thank you.
You are truly an artist, and that's
Thank
what this
you.
show is. Like, I really wanted to make it about your art. We're so proud of you. You deserve that
you.
VMA and more. And fun fact, Lulu, this is actually Bonnie's second VMA.
That's right. I have another one that just made an appearance in a video. I don't know
I
if you
loved
saw
it.
that.
I lived for it. I absolutely did. I was like, oh my God. And it's also in the background of your Substack stuff. So I'm like, oh my God. I awarded Bonnie a much deserved VMA for Slay.
Oh, thank you.
And now you got one for the Hot City album.
Thank
This
you.
one's a gold one.
Thank you. Yes.
This is the Vanguard Award.
Yes.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, I don't want to leave Hot City, but we'll come back, of course.
Okay.
Wow. Brett, are you feeling fucking fantastic?
Oh. Okay. Bombastic. Let's go.
We're going back in time right now, more so, to Bombastic. Bombastic. This is 2025. The 10-year anniversary
I
of
can't
Bombastic.
believe it. It's wild.
We just made the studio Bombastic pink. If you're not watching the
Love
video
it.
version of the show, welcome to the Bombastic era. Welcome back. Well, 10 years of Bombastic. Tell us about this era, this time. This was after you left Epic Records. You were so fed up, jaded with the music industry. And you just made a brand new project. No songs on Bombastic. I Want It All, Bombastic, Wasted Youth, and Easy were originally slated for the Epic album. These are all brand new songs.
Correct. Yes. I left Epic and I wanted to do it myself. And I learned so much. I learned the importance of owning my masters. So I got a big sync. I got a bunch of big syncs on this one. And
To this day.
Yeah, I just got one like a couple weeks ago, a big one.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Period.
And so I want to give back. And so we did a bunch of remixes for this new Bombastic Play Hard version.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So Bombastic EP,
Yes.
Play Hard version.
That's right. Play Hard Edition. It's coming out on the 4th of July, or it came out on the 4th of July.
It sure did, and we've been streaming it, and we love the remixes. Tell us
Thank
about
you.
making the 10-year anniversary version of Bombastic, which is also available on CD.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We put out the vinyl. It sold out in under a minute.
We need a repressing, by the way.
Yes. Yes. We're going to do vinyl.
Yay.
But yeah, I wanted to, it's so funny that the Bombastic EP did so well because it's only 4 songs.
But they're incredible
It's
songs.
just
10
4
out of 10
little
songs.
And
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'd like to apologize to my fans for giving you so little for so long. Because I
It's
was
been
sitting
crumbs.
on this whole, I was sitting on a whole wealth of music and fun stuff I wanted to share. And I needed to find the stars in my heart.
Well, you know what? It made the experience so much sweeter to have Hot City now finally being out. And then honestly, I lived on Bombastic. I still live on Bombastic because that was all you gave us. But Bombastic was so incredible. Like the title track, Bombastic. It is a fuck you to the music industry.
That's right.
You have been jaded. You have been hurt. You have been through the entire machine with the music industry for so long. And now you lead to Bombastic. Tell us about writing Bombastic, co-written by Charlie Puth.
Yes, I co-wrote it with Charlie Puth before he had blown up. He was just like a really talented kid that I was like, holy shit, this guy really knows what he's doing. He's doing that in the beginning. That's Charlie.
Really? That's him?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So I don't know. I had just left Epic and I was just like, I wanted to fuck you to the music industry and I wanted to try it indie. And this was kind of before everyone was indie, you know? So it was really a risk.
This was your first project that you did without any label support too.
Yeah. Yes. And so it was a huge learning experience. I learned the importance of my master's. I got a bunch of syncs and it was twice the money. And I was like, what? I was like, wait.
What a blessing.
Holy shit. So I'm really grateful for it. And it did really well. It charted. It's gotten 1 million syncs.
Oh, and it's still so timeless.
Thank you.
It is a classic Bonnie McKee record, honestly.
It's a great, it's great for movie trailers because it really feels like somebody like walking away from something in slow motion and
like
then the building blows up and they like put on their sunglasses and it's like badass, you know?
The Bombastic EP is sonically so much darker than Hot City, what you were doing at the time, the songs you were writing at the time. Mm-hmm. And maybe it wasn't intentional, maybe it was how you were feeling at the time, but you know, I think the darkest song on Bombastic is I Want It All, which by the way, is one of my favorite, not even songs on that EP, of all time by you.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
I love I Want It All. It's dark, it's gritty, sonically, and lyrically, it goes there.
Thank you.
So you mentioned in an interview before that I Want It All is essentially a love letter to your fans. It's saying that you would be willing to do anything to get to your audience.
Definitely, yeah. And I think the more kind of rock-leaning sound, at the time I was really trying to like step into my power. So Bombastic is like kicking in the doors, taking names, and I Want It All is a continuation of that. And really like when I say I want it all, it's like I would do anything to get to my fans. Like,
and I felt that.
I mean, yeah, I would make a deal with the devil, sign in blood on the paper.
You did.
And I did that,
You
okay?
did.
And so it's really, yeah, it's about how I would do anything to reach my audience. So it is a love letter to them.
Love that fucking song. And it's
Thank you.
It really, like I said, it really fucking goes there. And the bridge is so good. And visually, even before the music video came out, where you bring him to his knees, like that's what that does for me. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
I Want It All deserves all its flowers. And I also feel like it's a really good empowerment affirmation song because, like, yeah, I want it all too.
Yeah.
I want it all. I'm going to have it all.
You want it all and you deserve it all.
Period. I'm going to have it all. And that's how I feel when I listen to that song too. Like, sonically, even just with the guitars and how gritty it is, it's empowering.
Thank you.
It really is empowering.
Thank you.
I fucking love I Want It All. And deserves more flowers. Y'all.
Thank you.
Stream I Want It All. Also watch the music video. Another song on this EP is the definitive classic Bonnie McKee song. Wasted Youth. Wasted Youth. You've explored this theme of adolescence, youth, you know, obviously you have teenage dream. You've explored this theme throughout your music, even on your first album, Confessions of a Teenage Girl. So now we land on Wasted Youth on the Bombastic EP. Where did this song come from? Tell us about Wasted Youth.
Well, actually, my good friend Johnny Newman came up with this hook. He did it with Sean Walsh, who produced the whole Bombastic EP. And when I first heard it, I was like, I love this melody. I love this concept. But like, I was 28 at the time. I was like, am I like admitting that I'm old? Like I had kind of a weird hang up about it.
Which is, by the way, very young. I'm 28 right now.
I mean, yeah, but in pop star years, okay, that's like ancient.
We're throwing that out the door.
And so I was like feeling kind of insecure about it, but there was something just so powerful and magical about it. And there is something about adolescence that has always inspired me.
Yeah.
Because like your emotions are so much bigger. Everything is magnified because it's the first time you're feeling it.
Sensationalized.
Yeah. And those are like the moments that sort of like define your whole emotional tapestry for the rest of your life, where it's like
you're great at coming of age music.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's maybe some of my favorite.
Oh my God, absolutely. Wait, so they came in with the hook already with like the
not the whole thing, but just the concept of Wasted Youth and the opening melody, and I was like, this is fire. But I was like a little hesitant, and I tried to change it, and I was like, no, you know what? This is great. This is great. Johnny's a genius.
Oh, the classic Bonnie McKee lyric too. Visual, colorful. You can feel it. You can see. Oh my God. When it came out in 2015, I was 19. I would roll it on the windows and fucking scream my head off to Wasted Youth because I felt like I was in a movie.
Thank you.
I felt like I was in a coming of age movie.
I feel like it's like one of those songs that could be a thing on TikTok where I'm like, this is like your summertime.
It's going to be. I'm
you know,
gonna
like
make it
you
happen.
just graduated or whatever, and it's like, you know, I feel like I got to do that.
Besties, we're making it happen. Okay, well, I really love Bombastic. It's such a special project to me, and
Thank you.
The Bombastic 10-year anniversary Play Hard edition. Forgive me. Is so incredible, and the remixes.
Thank you.
We love that era.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you one last question about this era. So, if we take us back to Bombastic, you were in a place where you're feeling, jaded, upset with the music industry. Was it only these 4 songs, or was there any other songs from that era that you made that didn't make the cut?
No, it was just these 4 songs because I was like, I just need to get something out quick. And I can only really afford to do 4 right now because I don't know where this is going or what's going to happen. I wish that I had just put out a full album, but I was just like, I just want to get it out quick before everybody forgets that I exist. Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that. We could still make it happen. There are no rules anymore with the music industry.
True.
It's changed so much.
Time is just a construct, you know?
Exactly. And you know what, Bonnie McKee? Time is on our side. I'm claiming that, and the stars, and everything in between.
I love it.
Well, Bonnie, I want to talk about what is coming next, but of course, we are going to have to change the color of the studio for it.
Okay, let's go.
What is the color of this next era for Bonnie McKee? You teased a dark album in 2020. What do we think?
I'd say maybe like a dark teal, maybe.
Okay, we got that.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
like a dark teal.
Okay.
Turquoise.
Like maybe a bluish
like blue-green,
greenish?
blue-green.
Bluish greenish, I
Like
would
leaning
say.
more green.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect.
welcome to Bonnie McKee's next era, your first step into this world. What's coming next? You teased a 2020 album.
Yeah.
A dark album.
Yes, I made a whole album. I mean, it's like 75% done. And it is about getting out of a narcissistic relationship. It is definitely my most raw and vulnerable and like dark, insane music yet.
Are we talking lyrically, sonically?
Lyrically. I'd say sonically it's darker too. It leans more in like the Gustafsson kind of like, I can't feel my face sort of stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
we want that
so-
from you.
Yeah, so it's very, it's electronic, it's dark. There's some really vulnerable moments and there's some really like cutthroat moments.
Holy shit.
I'm really proud of this album. It is really raw. It's kind of like embarrassingly raw and like going through me basically losing my mind going through
feel
this
like
insane breakup.
With everything you described with all your music thus far, right? Obviously, Trouble was very raw, and it was just you and your diary and writing the first songs you've ever wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into a very polished, Hot City, and then obviously Bombastic. It sounds like the way you're describing is accumulation of all your projects.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's something.
When do you think we can expect to hear it?
Probably next year. Yeah, because we're gonna do Hot City Deluxe. We're gonna be living in Hot City still for a minute,
Forever.
and then she gonna be a woman gone mad.
Ooh. Okay, so this is a darker album that's coming next, and you wrote this coming out of an intense breakup. This was happening. You said around 2020 is when you made this. That's when you started teasing this album.
No, I started making it in like 2018,
Okay.
2019,
Yeah.
and then I started doing some visuals and stuff like right at the end of 2019. Actually, I was on set. I was on location scout the day that they shut down LA for the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was on site doing a location scout, and they were like, I think we're supposed to wear masks or something. And I was like, okay, this ain't happening right now.
That is so crazy. Because,
Yeah.
the world didn't need more darkness at the time.
Yeah.
Right. And it made no more natural sense to. maybe
Yeah, it was
hold
just
off.
like, this is not a time for me to be telling my like deeply personal, sad stories. So I'm going to just take a step back and think about what I want to do next. And then that was when I got on TikTok and I saw everybody looking for Hot City and everyone was ready for recession pop. So
We made a stop at Hot City first before we get to this next album.
exactly.
So you said it's about 75% done?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think I still have a couple more songs to write for it.
Okay. How do you get in that mindset? Like, it's been so long since, that entire thing happened and you've been working on Hot City.
Yeah, but it's honestly, this was like such a life-changing experience getting out of this insane relationship with a narcissist that it really changed me. It really was like a life-changing experience for me. And I see it everywhere now. Once you've had a narcissist, you can spot them from a mile away.
And you have so much more to say now.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I meet so many people that I'm like, I see it. I see what you're going through. I see it. Like he
that a
checks
red
all the
flag for you?
boxes, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I feel like it's really important to me to be able to share that because somebody shared that with me. And that was what kind of opened my eyes and helped me through it. And I want to be able to do that for other people that are going through the same experience.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. Because, thinking about, with Hot City, those powerful songs that I take as affirmations, how much it's helped me just hearing that you can do it. People going through anything similar are probably going to be able to relate.
Yeah.
And, if you save one person, Mr. Ray.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we're so excited for this album.
Thank you.
Do you think it's not going to be sparkly anymore?
It's sparkly in a dark way.
Okay, like dark glitter.
Yeah.
Dark glitter, we'll take it.
Yes.
We'll take any music, Bonnie McKee, please. Keep them coming.
It's still danceable and it's still pop.
We love to hear
Yes.
it. You know what we want. So, Bonnie, do you feel like, does it cross your mind that the person that this is about is going to hear it? They're going to know it's about them?
Oh, he knows.
Oh, they already know.
He knows. I was threatening him when I was writing it, where I was like, this is going to come out. I'm going to expose you.
Holy shit, girl.
And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, all right, you've got a little bit of time, but I'm coming for you.
Oh, it's still happening. It's still happening. Well, watch out, sir.
Look out.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you. What else do you have coming up outside of this dark album?
Well, what I really want to do with this album is make a visual album. Going to Tribeca Film Festival was so inspiring for me, and seeing Miley Cyrus do a visual album and like seeing the way that it works in the movie industry where people get funding, you know, they have people invest in them.
Yes.
And I'm not opposed to a label, but it would be great to get funding that's not gonna just own my masters forever. You know what I mean?
Because, essentially you just want to make the videos.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I want to make a visual album, but I want to make it like a film. And so I've started a script for that, and I have a whole beautiful deck. And that was what I was going to shoot before the pandemic. I was like going to do a sizzle reel so I could hopefully get funding for that. So I would really love to make it into an actual film.
We're manifesting that. And you really don't sleep. You're working on so many things. That's crazy.
I really want to get into the film and TV world because, like I said, it's so nice to be the new kid in town, you know? So.
Oh my God, especially, it's very refreshing. Bonnie, I want to talk about your manifestation journey. You are a powerful manifester. You have manifested so much in your career, and honestly, in ways that you weren't even expecting. Playing arenas, doing Coachella, writing these massive hits, hearing your own voice on the radio, making music videos. These are things that you always wanted for yourself when you lived in your Delulu, which is now your trululu, right? Like, you're such a powerful manifester.
Thank you.
I want to talk about your manifestation journey.
Yes.
So, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I think it started out with just like being Delulu from birth, where
Period.
I just like
Me too.
believed that there was someone up there looking out for me, and that I was destined to do something with myself. And but then I fell on my face so many times that I really like lost my faith for a minute, you know. And I think that was important because I needed to have an ego death, and I needed to be humbled because I really came in swinging and was just like, I deserve this, but I hadn't really earned it yet. You know?
Got it, yeah.
And so I think that through my humbling ego death experience, which I've had several of, I've really kind of learned to hand it over to the universe.
Yeah, let go of control.
Yeah.
You can't control everything.
Yeah. And I think that like surrender is a powerful thing, but with intention. And I do believe that making art for the right reasons gets me where I want to go. If I know that my intentions are pure.
It's actually working.
I mean,
see it happening in front of you.
Well, it's also just like a much more pleasant experience
Yeah.
than trying to force something. And I think also, I mean, specificity is important when you're manifesting, but it's also like you have to be open to whatever breadcrumbs the universe is going to throw out for
Yeah,
you,
like when
and you
did
just
an
got to
arena
follow the
tour,
trail.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't as you headlining it or as an artist, you didn't get to do the Jonas Brothers arena tour,
I did not.
but you still ended up going on an arena tour.
I still ended up going on tour with Kygo. Yeah, I got to do a world tour, play all over the world, see all these different countries, and eat all this different food, and
they were
be on
losing
these
their shit
huge
over
stages.
you.
It was so much fun.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I never would have seen that. And also, I didn't know that I was going to be a songwriter. That was not my plan. But when it presented itself, I took it because I was like, okay, like I may not be getting there on the path that I thought I was going to take,
You
but
still ended
I'm
up
getting there.
like, yeah, and you're
Yeah.
still going right now too. Your entire story about surrender reminds me of a gospel. I'm deeply religious. There's this hymn in the Bible, and it basically goes, I throw my hands up in the air, but only sometimes.
Yes, I wrote a song called Dynamite for Tayo Cruz.
Which went number one.
It went number one, and everybody's like, why do you only throw your hands up in the air sometimes? I throw my hands up in the air sometimes. And the truth is, it was around the time that I was starting to get sober, and I was like, it's about surrender. It's a song about surrender.
Yeah, it's
where
a
it's
deeper
like-
mean.
yeah,
You love hiding those.
I do. I love a hidden message in a sparkly pop song. That's my favorite.
And people are partying to it at weddings. Yes.
Yep.
And it is about you surrendering, you letting go.
Yeah.
You giving it to God.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you just got to throw your hands up in the air and just let it go.
It was actually one of your first number ones too.
Yeah, it was.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was shocked that went number one and that it's like stood the test of time. Like that's like every wedding, every bar mitzvah, every ball game, you hear that song. So I'm really proud of that
every
one.
church service.
Yes. And I love that I think that people can hear that there's heart behind that and that it's not just a party song.
Well, that's why a lot of your songs do well. You know what I mean? Like you infuse that heart into it, you make it real, you make it relatable, and it's not just fluff that's on the radio.
Well, I feel like when I'm writing my lyrics, I really am channeling something, and there is like there's a beam of light that comes from the sky into me, and I feel a connection when there's something real there. And when I'm just like writing fluff, usually doesn't go anywhere because I'm not,
You're striking gold in my opinion, really, and it really has proven to be true.
Thank you.
Well, Bonnie, you used to want to be the number one pop star in the world. I mean, sure, why not? You still do. But when you had a different journey with this. So what is your version of success now? What is your relationship with that thought?
I think that my idea of success is reaching people, touching people. And it doesn't really matter how many people. I get to do what I love. I get to show up and create every day. And if I can feed myself with that and I can feed other people, then
you are.
I feel like I am successful.
Because we're eating, y'all.
Yeah. And also, I think the fact that I'm still standing after everything that I've been through
You're
is
a true testament to like perseverance and resiliency.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I realized a while back where I was like, okay, God, I get it. Like my purpose is to be the poster child for perseverance. And when you fall down, you get back up. And I'm like, okay, but do I ever get to just stay up?
And you do. You do and you will. And honestly, I feel like that's why I relate to so much of your music because me as Ryan, I feel like such an underdog. So when I listen to your music and it's so empowering and it really makes me feel like come on, everybody, let's fucking go. We can do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And I feel it. I feel it's my core. So, you making music for the people like us. And I really appreciate it.
No, I do. I mean, I know you look at my career and whatever, and it's like, how can you call yourself an underdog? And it's like, nothing was handed to me. You
really had to fight for it.
I did. And I'm so glad because honestly, if my first record deal had worked out, I would be probably dead because I probably wouldn't have gotten sober. I wouldn't have been humbled. I wouldn't have had to have these sort of eye-opening epiphanies of like what my real purpose is because I was serving just my ego. And now I understand that my purpose is to serve others.
Do you feel like everything had to happen exactly how it happened? And do you feel peaceful? Do you feel satisfied?
I do.
More is coming, but
I do. I mean, I think once I accepted that like that is kind of my role to be just like a pillar of strength. It's given me more strength and motivation because when I feel like giving up, I think about the people that look up to me and the people that have seen my journey and see me keep getting back up. And I'm like, I got to get back up again for them.
But Bonnie, you're also a story of success. Because when I look at you, it's not even just like, she's been through so much. Poor girl. Oh my God, I'm going to get through this too. I look at you and I'm like, she has climbed mountains and she's done so much. And I see the future of you. And I know you're going to be continuing to do incredible, massive things.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, like, your true heart calling, especially when you were younger and you were thinking about what you wanted in your life and you're visualizing, you're living your fantasy, making videos, making music videos, performing, you're doing all that and you got to do all that. And it means something to me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it means something to everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, ending up at Tribeca Film Festival was a big manifestation moment for me because like I said, people for years have been like, why are you still making music videos? It costs too much money. It doesn't move the needle. There's no return on investment. Why are you doing this? And I just like in my heart and soul and was like, I'm doing this because I love it. This brings me joy. And that's why I'm fucking doing it. And that is what got me to Tribeca.
The universe rewarded you for that.
I really feel that.
No, I agree. And also, we love it as fans too. You're giving to us and like it creates more of a deeper story into the lore. Like I want to know every little nitty gritty detail of every one of these songs. And then you give us a peek into your mind about it, like the Forever 20 music video. Genius. You know what I mean? Everything. Well, congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
You're still a massive believer in the universe. You speak about the universe on this Hot City project. You say in Everything But You, the stars are on my side, Slay, believing in tomorrow and the cosmos. Of course, we still believe. And in Deep Cut, Justice for Waking Up Diagonal, you say, I can see the Milky Way. You've always had this thread of this higher power in your music.
Yes, absolutely.
And really subscribing to that.
Definitely. Because I think that I recognize that I am not the one creating it. I am like letting my higher power move through me. And any successes that I've had have been from me opening up and channeling that. And it's just going through the filter and the lens of me. But all of that magic comes from the stars, I think. I don't know.
And inside you. And we love it and we appreciate it. Well, I'm really like that you feel like you're such a believer in the universe still. Because to be honest, like being knocked down, being disappointed, it could really break someone.
Yeah.
And again, your story to me is much more than just resiliency and perseverance. You're a champion. You are the true champion that you sing in your music.
Thank you.
To me, to like the world, obviously, and you're going to continue to be rewarded. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, I think it's really important to keep the faith.
Good, me too.
Because there was a time when I lost it, and that was the darkest time of my life.
Oh my gosh. Did you write music during that?
Yeah, and it's dark. It's dark. But also part of that will be on this next dark album that I'm doing. And that is also comes with the surrender thing, where I was just like, I have to just have blind faith.
Absolutely.
I have to just believe. And believing, I think, is what gets you there. Because if you don't believe, it's not going to happen.
What you need to do is slay.
That's right.
Absolutely. And we're slaying.
Come on, everybody. Let's go.
We're fucking going. It's 1999. Let's do it. Period. Well, Bonnie, I wanted to play a really fun game with you.
Okay.
This is our game, Claim or Rebuke.
Okay.
Claim is you accept. Rebuke is you reject.
Okay.
I'm going to rapid fire some topics for you. You can give context if you like, or you could just let me know if you're claiming or rebuking it.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. So we're going to start with signing with a record label again.
Claim.
Claim.
I claim that.
Yeah.
That could be great.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Interscope. Okay. So, are you claiming or rebuking starting your own label?
Oh, claim. For
Heavy
sure.
claim.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have an imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Call Bonnie. Okay. This one might be hard. This is hard for me. Claim your favorite song on Hot City.
Hard to say. I love Hot City. I just love
too.
Hot City.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's a magnum opus.
it's just one of those songs that I feel like will be around in 50 years and people will still like it.
Absolutely.
And I just really want people to hear it because I'm like, come on, y'all.
Let's get everyone to hear it. Okay. So, are we claiming or rebuking Breaking Bonnie 2.0?
Oh, yeah, I'll claim that. Sure.
So, Bestie Lulus, if you don't know Breaking Bonnie, please look it up on YouTube. Lana Del Rey is actually a huge fan of it, and it is a mini-series that Bonnie did pre-Epic Records, or maybe during the time that you were signing with Epic Records, where she was talking about her journey of being a pop star in training, and it's an incredible journey, and Lana Del Rey is a fan of it.
Yeah, actually, Lana Del Rey is a big manifestation moment for me. I'm a huge fan, and I had just been saying to myself, I was going through this insane breakup, blah, 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 blah. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
This is after Epic.
Yeah, this is after Epic, long after Epic.
Yeah.
And I just, in my head, I was like, you know what? I just really feel like I would be happy to have the kind of fan base that Lana has, where it's not like, I mean, obviously she's huge now. She's bigger now than she was back then too, where I was like, she had like a great cult following. She's a tastemaker. Everyone respects her. But it's not like, you know, unsafe. You know what I mean?
Right. She wasn't like the Katy Perrys at the time.
It wasn't like you have
The
to watch
Beyoncés.
everything that you say and every tweet that you blah, 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 you know what I mean? I was like, I like her level of fame. I feel like that's, and I respect her so much. And I just was thinking a lot about Lana, and I was doing a lot of like witchy ceremonies in the privacy of my little den.
Period.
And she was just on my mind. And then I was like kind of going through it, and I ran into her at a party.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "You're Bonnie McKee." And I was like,
Oh, she recognized you?
and she's like, "I watched all of Breaking Bonnie." And she was
So
like, "Look
did
at
I,
what I was
Lana.
listening to on my way here." Holds up her phone, Bombastic.
The gift that keeps on giving.
And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I really think we should talk." And I was like, "Okay." And I gave her my number, and she called me, and we talked for like 2 hours.
Oh my
And
gosh,
she
about
was-
what?
She was like, "Listen, bitch,
Period.
you need to be a redhead again. Go back to red. You need to be an artist. Like, you are an incredible songwriter, and we want to hear your voice, like your lyrics, blah, blah, blah." She knew the deep cuts, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Damn, she was
It was
channeling
like,
me.
literally, she fell from the sky.
Little angel.
Right in the moment when I needed it. When I was in my darkest moment,
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey appeared. I thank her in the
You
liner
actually
notes.
manifested that.
I thanked her in the liner notes
You
of
do,
Hot
on
City
Hot
because I was like,
City.
she was like, "You're an artist." And I needed that. I needed someone to tell me that.
Yeah, especially from someone that you respected and you were manifesting like a career similar to her. You know, like what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's so validating.
No, it was like, it changed my
And now
life.
look at that. You're a redhead again.
Yes, I was like, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And now Hot City came out.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Lana Del Rey,
Yes,
from me.
thank you.
Oh my God, seriously. Well, how impactful was that? Like hearing that conversation, that pep talk, did it really kick things into gear for you?
It absolutely did, because I was really lost and feeling so alone, and like nobody wanted me, and I didn't know where I belonged anymore. And
my
she was
gosh,
like,
Bonnie.
"You're an artist."
You are an artist.
And she just fell out of the sky out of nowhere. And I was like, Lana Del Rey just told me I'm an artist, and I believe her.
Okay, I believe her too. We all believe her. And you know what? Claiming Lana Del Rey.
Yes.
Claiming,
that.
heavy claiming on Lana Del Rey. So are we claiming or rebuking L.A. Reid and Epic Records?
We're claiming.
Okay.
We're claiming because like it got me where I am today.
Yeah.
Sony's been really cool about me sampling these songs, and they're letting me do my thing. And look, they put me on the radio with American Girl. Like, I'm really grateful for that whole experience. And I needed to have all that. Everything happens for a reason.
Oh, that's so introspective. You better than me, girl. Well, I have a different answer. Well, Bonnie, thank you so much for playing. And this has been literally such an incredible episode for me. Like,
Thank
honestly,
you.
I hate to admit it, y'all, but this was for me. This episode was for me. I am so sorry. I really try to make as much about manifestation as I can, but this was for me.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I'm
you
so
so
happy
much.
you were here. This was incredible, life-changing
happy
for
to
me.
be here. I'm
you
happy to be
truly have
here.
changed my life.
Thank you.
And I hope all of y'all
Hey,
know.
and by the way, you changed mine, because you told me what manifesting with Slay and Don't Get Mad, Get Famous, what all these things did for you. And I was like,
Yes.
okay, well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
why I'm here, is to help people. So you believing in it is why I put out Hot City. So I do owe this to you.
Stop.
It's
No,
true.
it wouldn't. No, literally, I do thank you, because the shitty little MP3s of Slay I had, and I had every version. She performed it many times, and I had every fucking version. I titled every single version. That was, and it really did get me where I am. Like 2020 was when I started my TikTok, and then everything started blowing up for me, because I wanted more for myself. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just, live in the shadows. It was cold there, personally. So I didn't like it. And, those songs really gave me the motivation in life to just do it, to fucking slay. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It feels so simple and like obvious, but it's really not. And hearing it and connecting to it, and sonically, it's also like I feel slay in my veins, besties. I hate to say it, but I do. But Bonnie, seriously, thank you so much. We close out every show by manifesting together.
Okay.
We speak things into existence. Could be anything, silly, serious, career, personal, anything. But the universe is listening, especially here on Delulu. So I want to manifest with you. What are we manifesting right now? What do we want to speak into existence? I'm manifesting. I want to say I'm manifesting you becoming the biggest pop star in the world, but you simply are. So
stop.
that's just true Lulu, reality Lulu.
No, you know what? I would love for the world to discover the Hot City album.
Me too.
And really connect with it. I would love for Hot City to have a moment, like a real moment.
Well, if you were a bestie of mine, you were going to listen to Hot City, because honestly, a lot of the fun fact, Lulu besties, a lot of the music I have in the tarot videos are songs from Hot City.
Yes.
So when you're feeling empowered, when you're feeling motivated, when you're watching those videos, it is Hot City you're listening to, and I'm infusing it. It's like a subliminal for me. It's all powerful, very, very powerful. So you don't even know how many people are fans of Hot City without even knowing it.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
Well, we're manifesting that. I want everyone to discover Hot City and also just really get into the world of Hot City. It's true escapism.
It is. It's escapism, and it's empowering. And I mean, look, all kinds of things have happened because I believed in myself, and because I didn't let these songs die. You know what I mean? And I
I'm
feel
so
like
grateful for
look
it.
at what it's done for you.
Thank you. Seriously,
what
you
it's done for
changed
you.
my life. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be interviewing you. I was praying last night before bed. And I was like, wow, God, 10 years ago, I was like getting kicked out of trying to see her in concert. And I'm about to interview her on my own show, which is crazy.
Manifestation is real.
Manifestation is real. You're a living proof of it.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
You. Oh, that means a lot coming from you. Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. We spoke that into existence. We're manifesting that. Please listen to Hot City, everyone.
Yes.
Well, besties, thank you so much for joining us on this very long episode of Delulu. I'm so grateful that you listened and watched. This was your healthy dose of Delulu. So now you can go live your true Lulu. Bonnie McKee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Where can the besties find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on Twitter. So stop it. Just get rid of that.
We'll do Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Substack. So come on down. It's just my name, just at Bonnie McKee.
And besties, you can also find Bonnie on Spotify or wherever you stream music. Please listen to Hot City. It's such an incredible album, and it truly is an affirmation album. If you want to feel good, you want to feel like you're manifesting your best life, you truly want Lucky Girl Syndrome on crack, it is in Hot City. Check out the deluxe and also check out Bombastic, the original EP, and the 10-year anniversary EP, Bombastic Play Hard. If you guys love this episode, please follow the show on Spotify and hit the bell button to be notified every time a new episode drops every Delulu Thursday. And besties, if you could be so kind and rate the show 5 stars, Bonnie and I will personally write a song about you. So please rate the show. Do it right now. It takes 10 seconds. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And besties, if you want more of this podcast, please join my Past as Besties community at the top of my page, and you could be a part of next week's WWADG. We didn't get to do it this episode, but you could do it in the next episode. And of course, you can always find me at e.mo.tions, e.mo.tions, across all my platforms, and the exclusive podcast account at Delulu BFF. Thank you so much for watching, besties. Stay Delulu. Stream Bonnie McKee. Love you.
Thank